जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So today is 28th of December. It is Saturday. It is Pausha Masa or Narayana Masa, Krishna Paksham, and Trayodasi Tithi. So there are two events today. One is the disappearance day of uh, Shri Mahesha Pandita, and another one is the disappearance day of Shri Uddharana Datta Thakura. So two personalities disappearance day. So we shall read some few lines from the special Vaishnava days. So here we learn about them both from Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita Adilela, chapter 11, the expansions of Lord Nityananda. So in the text 32 of that chapter, Mahesh Pandita, the seventh of the 12 Gopalas, was very liberal. In great love of Krishna, he danced to the beating of a kettle drum like a madman. Uddharanadatta Thakura, the 11th among the 12 coward boys, was an exalted devotee of Lord Nityananda Prabhu. He worshipped the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda in all respects. And it is mentioned in the Adilela, chapter 11, 32 verse. Mahesh Pandita, the seventh of the 12 Gopalas, so in that purport, mentions that Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakura writes in his Anubhashya, the village of Mahesh Pandita, which is known as Palapada, is situated in the district of Nadia within the forest about 1 mile south of the Chakadaha railway station. The Ganges flows nearby. It is said that formerly Mahesh Pandita lived on the eastern side of Jirat in the village known as Masipura or Yashipura. And when Masipura merged into the riverbed of the Ganges, the deities were brought to Palapada, which is situated in the midst of various villages such as Beridanga or Berigrama and Sukasagara, Chandude and Manasa Pota. So there are about 14 villages, and the entire neighborhood is known as the uh, Panchanagara Paragana. It is mentioned that Mahesh Pandita joined the festival performed by Shri Nityananda Prabhu at Panihati. Narottama Das Thakura also joined in the festival, and Mahesh Pandita saw him on that occasion. In the temple of Mahesh Pandita, there are deities of Gaura Nityananda, Shri Gopinatha, Shri Madana Mohana, and Radha Govinda, as well as Salagramasila. And about the Uddharana Thakura, so in the Gaura Ganesh Deepika, states that Uddharana Datta Thakura was formerly the coward boy of Vrindavana named Subahu. So Uddharana Datta Thakura, previously known as Shri Uddharana Datta, was a resident of Saptagrama, which is situated on the bank of the Saraswati River near Trisibhika railway station in the district of Hugli. At the time of Uddharana Thakura, Saptagrama was a very big town encompassing many other places such as the Vasudevapura and Bansabedia, Krishnapura, Nityanandapura, Sivapura, and Shankanagara and Saptagrama. So Calcutta was developed under British rule by the influential mercantile community and especially by the Suvarna Vanik community who came down from the Saptagrama to establish their businesses and homes all over the Calcutta. They were known as the Saptagrami mercantile community of Calcutta, and most of them belonged to the Mulik and Sil families. More than half of Calcutta belonged to this community, as did Srila Uddharana Thakura. So our paternal family also came from this district and belonged to the same community. The Muliks of Calcutta are divided into two families, namely the Sil family and Day family. All the Muliks of the Day family originally belonged to the same family and Gotra. We also formally belong to the branch of the Day family, whose members, intimately connected with the Muslim rulers, received the title Mulik. In the Chaitanya Bhagavata Antyakanda, chapter 5, it is said that Uddharanatha was an extremely elevated and liberal Vaishnava. He was born with the right to worship Nityananda Prabhu. It is also stated that Nityananda Prabhu, after staying for some time in the Kadadaha, came to Saptagrama and stayed in the house of Uddharanadatta. The Suvarnavanik community to which Uddharanadatta belongs was actually a Vaishnava community. Its members were bankers and gold merchants. Suvarna means gold and Vanik means merchant. Long ago, there was a misunderstanding between Ballal Sena and the Suvarnavanik community because of the great banker Gauri Sena. Ballal Sena was taking loans from Gauri Sena and spending money extravagantly, and therefore Gauri Sena stopped supplying money. Again, there are further pastimes of those things. It is very long. So that is about the Uddharanadatha Thakura. So he was the manager of the estate of a big jamindar in Naihati, about 1.5 miles north of Katwa. The relics of his royal family are still visible near Dainahata station. Since Uddharanadatta Thakura was the manager of the estate, it was also known as Uddharanapura. And Uddharanadatta Thakura installed Nitai Gaura deities that were later brought to the house of the Jamindar, which was known as the Vano Yari Bada. Vano Yari Bada. So, Srila Uddharanadatta Thakura remained a householder throughout his life. His father's name was Shrikara Datta, his mother's name was Bhadravati, and his son's name was Srinivasa Datta. So this is about the Uddharanadatta Thakura. Okay, so that is from the Vaishnava events perspective. So we shall quickly move into our daily Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, so Sukadeva Goswami, he is describing the conversations between the Supreme Personality of Godhead and Brahma. And then Lord spoke, and Brahma, he took all the instructions from the Lord, and then he started creating universe. So started doing his duty. So in such a way, he was engaged in his duties. But on one day, the Brahma, he was sitting in his meditation, following all the rules and regulations. And for the welfare of all the living entities. At that time, Narada Muni, who is very dear to Brahma by his behavior and by his good qualities and by his rendering service unto his father, and he who is always self-controlled. Out of all his children, Narada Muni is very dear to Brahma. He approached Brahma. Narada Muni approached Brahma. Likewise, Sukadeva Goswami said, and then, so today, he says that Narada Muni wanted to know different energies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In such a way, so he was trying to please his father and then to ask more questions about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So likewise, Sukadeva Goswami is saying. So here in this chapter, so this one we have already seen. Previously, Narada Muni also asked many questions to Brahma, and Brahma explained all of those incarnations of the Lord and his energies. And finally, he mentioned that I do not know anything. Even Naham Nayuyam Yaditam Gatim Vidir Navamadeva Kimutha Pare Suraha Yenmayat So in Maya, by the energy of illusion energy of the Lord, everyone are bewildered. No one can understand the Supreme Lord clearly. And then he mentioned in the 7th chapter of the second canto. There also he asked questions and Brahma answered. And after that, Parikshit has asked many questions. So many questions. How the universe are different incarnations again, how it has come, and what is the size of this universe, and like that. So now, for those kind of questions, in order to reveal everything, so there are 10 different subjects. This is Atra Sargo Visargasha, Sthanam Poshanam Utayah, Manvantar Ishanupato, Nirodha Mukti Rashriyah. The 10 subject matters. So these will be revealed later on. For that one, Sukadeva Goswami is again mentioning. So once upon a time, Brahma was sitting in his meditation, following all the rules and regulations for the welfare of all the living entities. At the time, Narad Muni has come there and then he pleased Brahma and started to knowing more details about the different energies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, so likewise, we are in the Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, chapter 9, verse number 42. मायां विविदिशन् विष्णोः माया ईशस्य महामुनिः महाभागवतो राजन् पितरं पर्यतोषयत् मायां विविदिशन् विष्णोः Mayam is the energies. Vividishan, desiring to know the energies of Vishnu, of the personality of Godhead. Mayam Vividishan Vishnu. And who is that Vishnu? Maya Yeshasya, because he is the master of the all energies. Maya Yeshasya. And Mahamunihi. So Narada Muni is addressed as the Mahamunihi. And also Mahabhagavato Rajan. O Parikshit, Narada Muni is a Mahamuni and Mahabhagavata. And what he did, Pitaram Parjitoshayat. So he has pleased very much pleased his father Brahma. Pitaram Parjitoshayat. For what purpose? Vividishan, Mayam Vividishan, to know the, desiring to know the energies, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And also Vishnoho. Vishnoho is the Maya Yeshasya. Mayam Vividishan Vishnoho Maya Yeshasya Mahamunihi Mahabhagavato Rajan Pitaram Parjitoshayat. So Narada very much pleased his father and desired to know all about the energies of Vishnu, the master of all energies. For Narada was the greatest of all sages and greatest of all devotees. O king, and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki Jaya. So can I request any unallocated devotee to read this purport, please?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, may I read?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Lord Brahma, being the creator of all living beings in the universe, is originally the father of several well-known sons like Daksha, the Chadusanas, and Narada. In three departments of human knowledge disseminated by the Vedas, namely fruitive work Karma Kanda, transcendental knowledge, Jnana Kanda, and devotional service, Upasana Kanda, Devarshi Narada inherited from his father Brahma devotional service, whereas Daksha inherited from his father fruity work, and Sanaga, Sanadana, etc. inherited their father information about Jnanakanda or transcendental knowledge. But out of them all, Narada is described here as the most beloved son of Brahma because of good behavior, obedience, meekness, and readiness to render service unto the father. And Narada is famous as the greatest of all sages because of his being the greatest of all devotees. Narada is the spiritual master of many famous devotees of the Lord. He is the spiritual master of Prahlada, Dhruva, and Vyasa, down to the forest animal hunter Kirada. His only business is to turn everyone into the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Therefore, all these features of Narada make him the dearmost son of his father, and all this is due to Narada's being a first class devotee of the Lord. The devotees are always anxious to know more and more about the Supreme Lord, the master of all energies. As confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 10.9, Machita Madgata Prana Bodhayanta Parasparam Kadayantascha Mam Nityam Tushyanti Cha Ramanti Cha. The Supreme Lord is unlimited and his energies are also unlimited. No one can know them completely. Brahmaji, being the greatest living entity within this universe and being directly instructed by the Lord, must know more than anyone within this universe, although such knowledge may not be complete. Thus, it is the duty of everyone to ask about the unlimited Lord from the spiritual master in the disciplic succession of Brahma, with descendant from Narada to Vyasa, from Vyasa to Sukadeva, and so on. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai. Thank you so much, Mataji. So here Narada Muni is in order to inquire about the energies of the Lord and about the Lord. So he is first of all pleasing his father by his Silena. What is that one? Silena Susrushamanaha Silena Prashrayena Damena cha, with all control senses, not asking any kind of not the unimportant things or material things. He wanted to know very important things, which are, and he must be self-controlled to ask all the relevant questions. That is very important. We should not go to the spiritual master to ask about how can I earn money, how to live happily with family and children. These are the not how I can enter free from the material entanglement. Such kind of questions needs to be understood. And about questions about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the master of all the energies. So here, Prabhupada is describing Lord Brahma being the creator of all living beings in the universe is originally the father of several well-known sons. Brahma has got all the Prajapatis and great sages and likewise different sons. Out of those sons, uh, so in the three departments of the human knowledge, he has given to his children. So these are given by the one is the knowledge disseminated by the Vedas, namely fruitive work. This is the Karma Kanda, and transcendental knowledge is the Jnana Kanda, and devotional service is Upasana Kanda. This is knowledge coming from the three of them. So the first part is the Karma Kanda. It was given to the Daksha Prajapatis and such kind of Prajapatis to create the progeny by following the Vedic injunctions, follow the rules and regulations from the Vedas. And then transcendental knowledge is the Jnana Kanda. And where the devotees like, Kumaras, Chatushthanas, so they were always engaging in the meditation and discussing the philosophical topics, transcendental knowledge. That is the Jnana Kanda. And third one is the devotional service. It is the Upasana Kanda, is the topmost thing. So, Devarshi Narada inherited from his father Brahma on the devotional service. Daksha inherited from his father fruitive work, and Sanaka, Sanantana, etc., inherited from their father information about Jnana Kanda. So these are the three different sections of the knowledge. So, but out of them all, Narada is described here as the most beloved son of Brahma because of good behavior, obedience, meekness, and readiness to render service unto his father. So in such a when he is serving his father, he will get the um, all the taste whatever the father has got. He will also get the same knowledge, same taste, Like his father is a great devotee of the Supreme Lord. So likewise, Narada Muni as well. So this is Susurusha Sadhanasya Vasudeva Katha Ruchihi. Syanmasevi Vipraha Punyatiddhanishevana. If one is worshipping that such kind of great devotees, he would automatically, it is called Matseva. And here, Narada Muni, he was the Susurushamanaha Silena Prashrayena Dhamena Cha. In such a way, he is approaching his father. And that's why he is most beloved son of Brahma. And Narada is famous as the greatest of all sages because of his being the greatest of all devotees. He is the Mahabhagavata. He is the Mahabhagavata. Mahabhagavata is always keeping the Lord, speaking about the Lord, chanting the glories of the Lord. That is, wherever he goes, he speaks only on that part, nothing else. So he is called Mahabhagavata, greatest of all devotees. And also he is the spiritual master of many famous devotees of the Lord. He is the spiritual master of Prahlada, Dhruva, and Vyasa down to the forest animal hunter Kirata. So Narada Muni, he has inherited this Upasana Kanda, how to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So here, and uh, whenever he meets his disciples like Prahlada, Dhruva, and Vyasa, he gives this knowledge how to worship the Lord all the time. So here, whenever he met with Dhruva Maharaj, so he has explained in a way that to how to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the through Upasana Kanda. So he addresses that Dhruva Maharaj. So Dhruva Maharaj, he was going to the forest to meditate on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he doesn't have any details. At that time, Narada Muni came there and then he used the instructions to Dhruva Maharaj. So mentioning that Dhruva Maharaj, whatever you are going to do it, that is well and good. So, but one has to know for the Dharma, the Kama Mokshakyam, ya Ichreha Atmanaha, Ichreha Atmanaha. For their well-being, one has to Ekam hi eva harehe tatra karanam pada sevanam. One has to worship only the Hari. Ekam hi eva harehe tatra karanam pada sevanam. One has to worship the Hari for the Dharma, Artha, Kama, Mokshakyam. So for all Purusharthas, one has to uh, render devotional service. So he addresses him. You just go to the Madhuvana, which is situated in the banks of the Yamuna river, and then you always meditate on the Supreme Personality of Godhead and always render service unto him. So by what? 3 times you take bath 3 times a day. Yamuna river is so auspicious. Snatva anusavanam tasmin Kalindyaha salile sive. That water of Kalindya, it is all auspicious. So Snatva anusavanam 3 times a day. Take bath and then Krutvachirani nivasan atmanaha kalpitasanaha. You sit in a very cleansed place, kalpita asanaha, and you live there. Krutva uchitani nivasan, and you perform there in such a way, you keep yourself asana there and then engage yourself 3 times a bath a day and then sit in a proper position and in a cleanly place. प्राणायामेन त्रिवृत प्राणेन्द्रिय मनोमलम शनैः विदस्य अभिध्यायेत् मनसा गुरुना गुरुम. And through the pranayama process, controlling all the senses, the mind, and also the pranavayu, and then completely free from the material entanglement, you meditate on the Lord. So he describes how to meditate. So the Lord is always pleasing with pleasing face. Prasada vimukam shashvat prasanna vadanekshanam sunasam subhravam charukapolam surasundaram tarunam ramaniyangam aruneshte kshanadaram pranada shrayanam drumanam saranyam karunarnavam. So describing the beauty of the Lord. श्रीवत्साङ्कं घनश्यामं पुरुषं वनमालिनं शङ्खचक्रगदापद्मैः अभिव्यक्तचतुर्भुजं किरीटिनं कुण्डलिनं केयूरवलयान्वितं कौस्तभाभरणग्रीवं पीतकौशेयवाससं काञ्चीकलापपर्यस्तं लसत्काञ्चननूपुरं दर्शनीयतमं शान्तं मनोनयनवर्धनम् पद्भ्यां नकमनिश्रेण्य विलसद्भ्यां समच्यतां हृत्पद्मकान्यकादिष्ण्यम् आक्रम्यात्मनि अवस्थितम् स्मयमानम् अभिध्यायेत् स अनुराग अवलोकनं नीतेन एकभूतेन मनसा वरदर्शभम् एवं भगवतो रूपं सुभद्रं ध्यायितो मनः निवृत्त्या पर्यातोर्णं सम्पन्नं न निवर्तते जपश्च परमो गुह्यः श्रीता मे नृपात्मजा यं सप्तरात्रं प्रपठन् पुमान् पश्यति केचरान्. So if you just do the mantra and meditate on the Supreme Personality of Godhead for 7 nights or 7 days, Yam Saptaratram Prapatan Puman Pastiti Kecharan, and you can see the people who are wandering under Siddha Purushas in the sky, Kecharan, who are wandering in the sky. And what is that mantra? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. मन्त्रेण अनेन देवस्य कुर्याद्द्रव्यमयीं बुधः सपर्यां विविधैः द्रव्यैः देशकालविभागवेत्. So he is addressing how to worship that Supreme Personality of Godhead while he is meditating on the pleasing posture and form of the Lord, beautiful form of the Lord. Mantrin anena devasya, and with the Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya using this mantra, Kuryat Dravya Mayim Buddha, you need to perform such kind of activities. Saparyam, render service unto the deity. Vividaihi dravyaihi, with different kinds of paraphernalia. Vividaihi dravyaihi, according to Desha Kala Vibhagavet, time, place, and circumstances. So he is in the forest. He may not be able to collect everything like a when he is in the palace. So there, whatever the fruits and roots or flowers, collect all those things and then make the form of the deity with the soil and water, and then he can worship the Lord by offering the flowers and fruits and roots. Deshakala Vibhagavet. And so here, this is the Pancharatri Vidhi, how to worship the Lord. What Narada Muni, that is Upasana Kanda. So, Salilaihi, Suchibihi, Malyaihi, Vanaihi, Mola Paladibihi, Sesta Ankush, Sestankurankushai, Ankukaisha, Chet Tulasya Priya Prabhum. So, he is mentioning about the Tulasya Priya Prabhum Achet. You need to worship the Lord with the Tulasi if it is as much as possible. Priya Prabhum. And then Salilaihi Suchibihi Maliyaihi. And render, so whenever you collect these flowers, make it as a kind of a garland. Maliyaihi. And Vanaihi Mola Paladibihi. Mola Palad. So there are roots and fruits. You need to collect those things, offer it to the Lord. Whatever it is possible without much endeavor. And then Labdva Dravya Mayim Macham Kitwambhadishu Varchayet Abhutatma Munihi Santo Yetavan Mita Vanyabhuk. And so without much endeavor, whatever you get, you take those things and eat only limited. And offer it before that, you have to offer it to the Lord. And here, Labdha Dravya Mayim Acham Kshiti Ambhadishu Varchayet. And he mentions Kshiti is the soil, Ambu is the water, Ambhadishu Varchayet. So one can make the form of the Lord with the soil and water, mix it together and form the form of the Lord as much as possible. And then you offer all these things, whatever you have got, flower, fruits, and roots. In such a way, you also eat and then be satisfied with that. So, and then when you are engaging in worshipping of the Lord, O Dhruva, Swetcha Avatara Charitaihi Achintya Nijamayaya Karitrishyati tat Uttama tad Jayet Hrudayangamam. So he is mentioning that one has to meditate all his pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When he is engaging, one side is the pranayama, all postures 3 times a day, taking bath, sitting in a posture. That is one side. And then meditating on the beautiful form of the Lord, and also bringing the flowers, roots, and fruits, and also tulsi flowers as much as possible, and offering to the Lord, and offering to the Lord, and also now remembering the pastimes of the Lord, meditating on the pastimes of the Lord. This is the Sweta Avatara Charitaihi, Achincha Nijamaya, they are inconceivable. And then Paricharya Bhagavato Yavatyaha Purva Sevitaha Ta Mantra Hudayenaiva Premjhan Mantra Murtaye. So, and also he is a Paricharya Bhagavato. You need to render service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And how it needs to be done? Yavatyaha Purva Sevitaha, just following the previous Acharyas. And Ta Mantra Hudayenaiva. And then you following those principles, you use this mantra and chant Ta mantra hrudayenaiva in your heart. Prayunjan mantra Prayunjan mantra murtaye. So even if it is not possible to do that one, you make the form of the Lord. Mantra murtaye. Mantra murtaye is the Lord form with the mantra itself. So in such a way, one has to follow the footsteps of the previous acharyas. Gradually, these materialistic things, it is coming only to concentrate the mind and the form of the Lord. Iti murtiya anena mantra murtikam amurtikam. So Narada Muni also is mentioned to the Vyasadeva in the first canto also. So here he is mentioning to Dhruva Maharaj as well. So he is the mantra murtaye. And then evam kayena manasa vachasa cha manogatam paricharyamano bhagavan bhaktimat paricharyaya pumsam pumsama mayinam samyak bhajatam bhavavardhanaha shreyo disiti abhimatam yad dharmadishu dehinam. So in such a way, one has to always render unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead through his kayena, by his body, manasa, vacha, everything, and vachasasa manogatam, completely absorbed in the paricharyamano bhagavan, bhakti mat paricharyaya. So this is the way of worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He was speaking to Narada Muni, spoke to Dhruva Maharaj. So here, when you are worshipping, so devotees or anyone who is worshipping, if they have got any desires, they cannot do the same worship for to fulfill their desires, following Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, and this is following principles, and also Artha, Kama for even for the pleasures when he is living here. And then if doesn't have any materialist things and he wanted completely liberation only, then also completely engaged in the same process. In the only determination that I wanted to go back to Godhead. That is viraktasya indriya ratau bhakti yogena bhuyasa tam nirantara bhavena bhajet adha vimuktaye. So that is the direct process. If he doesn't want to entangle here without any desires, then he can go back to Godhead, just rendering the devotional service. So this Narada Muni, this is Pancharatri Vidhi. This is a very briefly mentioned here to Dhruva Maharaj according to the Desa Kala Bhagavat, based on time, place and circumstances. But he has given more details for the people who are living in the society through the Pancharatrika Vidhi, how to worship the deities, following the rules and regulations, taking bath 3 times a day, like that. Okay, that is about Narada Muni. He is the Pancharatra Vidhi. He has taken Upasana Kanda, especially it is called Upasana Kanda. And by following all this process, he became the greatest of all devotees. And he is spiritual master of many famous devotees of the Lord. He is like Dhruva, Prahlad, Vyasa, down to the Kirata as well. Kirata is the animal hunter. His only business is to turn everyone to the transcendental loving service of the Lord, which is the ultimate thing of the human life. Therefore, all these features of Narada make him the dearmost son of his father. And also, Krishna also mentions like whoever preaching Bhagavad Gita, they are most dear to me. Nachit Nachita manusheshu. So likewise, out of all people who are preaching Krishna conscious, they are very dear to me. So Narada does all these things. So all this is due to Narada's being the first class devotee of the Lord. The devotees are always anxious to know more about the Supreme Lord. They want to hear Krishna Katha. So this is Machitta Madgata Prana Bodhayanta Parasparam Katayanta Shamam Nityam Tushyanti Charamanti Cha. So here by hearing Krishna Katha, they are always Tushyanti Charamanti Cha. They experience greatest pleasures by hearing Krishna Katha. Katayanta Shamam Nityam. Nityam all the time, every day. So here, and then further Prabhupada is describing Supreme Lord is unlimited and his energies are also unlimited. No one can know them completely. Nantam vidam yaham ami munyograjaste maya balasya kuto kuto varaye. So this is again, even Adishesha, he is with thousands of um, heads. He is glorifying the Lord from time immemorial, but still he has not completed. Not only the Ananta, if we touch any devotee eh, and then ask him, he will speak so many things. It is never ending about his pastimes of the Lord, his experiences. So likewise, number of devotees, countless devotees are there. Everyone speaks their own personal realizations about the Lord. And then Brahmaji, being the greatest living entity within this universe and being directly instructed by the Lord, must know more than anyone within this universe. So, and also, although such knowledge may not be complete, even though Brahma is, that is, Naham Najoyam Yaditam Gatim Vidur Navamadeva Kimutapare Suraha. So I do not know much, you do not know, even Vamadeva, what to speak of everyone else. So Brahma says to Narada Muni also in the previous chapters. So that is, though it may not be complete, but he knows more than anyone else in this universe. That is the duty of everyone to ask about the unlimited Lord from the spiritual master in the disciplic succession of Brahma. This is evam parampara praptam imam rajashyo viduhu. So here before Vivaswan itself, Lord Brahma has got this knowledge from the Supreme Lord, the Bhagavatam, which descends from the Narada to Vyasa, from Vyasa to Sukadeva and so on, and giving this a disciplic succession. Okay, so likewise Prabhupada is describing here, and Narada is what is the quality is the it is Susrushamanaha Silena Prashrayena Dhamena cha. And very meek, Prashrayena, very meek, Susrushamana, always rendering service to Silena by his good behavior, Dhamena by controlling the senses. So these are all the qualities of a devotee. That is how he has approached his father, all the good qualities. And then his father is pleased with Narada Muni. So Pitaram Paritoshayat. Okay, that is from Srimad Bhagavatam. So we shall quickly move into Srila Prabhupada's daily letter. I took a little bit of time just to explain this Upasana Kanda, so the worship of the deities given by the Narada Muni. Okay, so today letter to Uddhava, June 9th and 1970, Los Angeles. Can I request Sanchita Mati? It is a small letter, but we do another letter as well. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. My dear Uddhava, please accept my blessings. I beg to acknowledge receipt of your letter dated 4th June 1970, along with the enclosed photostat of the new masthead for Back to Godhead. Thank you very much for this. It is very nice. One of our friends, Sri Sarafji, chief editor of the Go Darshana magazine, has requested some photographs for an article which is to be published in the Godarshana. Please send therefore some negatives of the pictures of Sankirtana, deities and some other pictures of pure devotees and temples to the following address. Shri Tarachand Saraf, Chief Editor Godarshana, 11/7 Kalakar Street, Calcutta 7, India. Please send these negatives by other mail as soon as possible. Hope this will meet you in good health. Your ever well wisher, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. Prabhupada ki jai.
Another letter, Mataji, please.
Okay. My dear Ishan Das, please accept my blessings and offer the same to your wife Vibhavati and your daughter Brajadevi. I think Brajadevi is nicely grown up and she must be sitting up by this time. So your description of Copenhagen is very encouraging, and I am so glad that you are realizing that actual help does come from Krishna. Our duty is to render service unto him sincerely, and immediately Krishna arranges for all facilities. From the description of your letter, it appears that you are not at all inconvenienced. So try to organize this center to the best of your capacity, helped by your wife, who is a very intelligent girl. I have received one letter from Tamal Krishna and he is anxious to know about your progress. So I hope you have already informed him. I think you should stick to the principles of ISKCON programs, namely holding classes in our center and distributing literature as far as possible. You have already got a nice place to hold class, and one boy has already joined you. These are good signs. One of our student, perhaps you know him, Vamanadev Das, he also went to St. Louis along with his wife, and he has organized the center very nicely within a very short time. Not only that, he has purchased a house also there. Similarly, another student, Gaur Sundara, went to Hawaii along with his wife, and he is also doing very nice there. I am sure you will also very soon improve the Copenhagen Center because both of you are sincere devotees. So occasionally, please keep me informed about your advancement. Depend on Krishna, and everything will be all right. For further direction, consult with Tamal Krishna. Hope this will meet you in good health. Your ever well wisher, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Thank you, Mataji. So when you take your points, Mataji, the previous letter is just to send some negatives for the program, so that to be published in the Godarshana.
Yes, when there it mentioned like word called masthead. So I think it's in the Back to Garden magazine. In any magazine, it's I was looking at. It says where the publisher's name and all the details are published. So that part. So that must have been done nicely with a photo stat. So with photo information. So Prabhupada was happy to like receive that in a different format. So. That was, yeah, and as you mentioned, sending negative to some publisher who, in their magazine in India, who wanted to share, and Prabhupada wanted Sankirtan and the deity pictures to be published in their magazine for more publicity of the ISKCON movement in the West. He wanted in India people to know about that. So that was the main message. And in this letter to Ishan Das, it's like, yeah, we see a trend how these different disciples, he first, after practicing for a couple of years, and then he is sending them to different places now after successful movement in USA and uh, London. He is sending them to different other countries. So this devotee is sent to Copenhagen, Denmark. So and before doing that, that's also something we see, like Prabhupada, he we being like material from this material world, so there can be uh, anything, any desire, even though people are initiated and all, because the movement is, how we see it now, it was not like then. It was a very fast paced movement, because at that time it was spreading. So he used to not to get into controversies and all, and later, so he used to get all his disciples married, so that also one for support, for as a partner, and also like a team, like in a team of two. I mean, if person is sent one person, then he might not like feel very encouraged, and he didn't have enough people, like for maybe enough male members to send, so he used to get them married and then send both of them. I used to make nice pairs, because he's saying that his wife she's a very intelligent lady. So he sent them to Copenhagen to spread Krishna consciousness. And he is very glad that he said, you have realized that actual help does come from Krishna. So of course, they must be from America, I'm expecting. And then to send in a different uh, country, all on their own, so where you do not know anybody and you have to start from scratch. So in that respect, Ishandas must have realized that, if we just have the faith and have unclenching faith and unwavering faith in Krishna, and we just pray to him and cry for his help, then he would definitely uh, help us. So that's what Prabhupada is mentioning, that actual help does come from Krishna. Our duty is just to render service, and then Krishna will arrange everything. So Prabhupada is saying that you are not at all. So it seems that you are well settled. He does not have any inconvenience. So, and with the help of his wife, try to spread the movement and stick to the ISKCON principles, which is like holding classes in our center and distributing literature. These were the main things. That is how the publicity was supposed to be done. And more than like a temple proper worship, of course, there were deities and all. But the main program for the ISKCON, I mean, that's what Prabhupada is stressing here. Stick to the principles of ISKCON programs, like holding classes in our center and distributing literature as far as possible. Even if there is only one boy he's joined, that Prabhupada is saying is a very good sign, and perhaps more students will join later, and there will be more publicity, and Krishna will definitely arrange for that. So, and he's giving example of his other disciples, like Vamanadev, who has gone to St. Louis with his wife, and Gaurasundar, who has gone to Hawaii with his wife, and they have managed in a very short time. They have managed to settle there, purchase house, and doing very nicely. So he's blessing and wishing that Ishandas will be able to do the same, improve the Copenhagen Center, because he knows that they're sincere devotees and Lord always helps the sincere devotees. And Prabhupada wants, like, occasionally as you progress, keep on updating Prabhupada about it. And there was another mention that Tamal Krishna mm, Maharaj, I mean, that time he was anxious because how he's doing, because these disciples must be quite young and like not so experienced. So whenever, and Tamal Krishna Maharaj and few of them who were like more um, in age, they were quite senior, so they wanted to get their news, like how they are doing. So he said, do mention that to him, that further guidance, he said, for further direction, consult Tamal Krishna Maharaj. So he's telling that do consult your seniors for more guidance, because Prabhupada must have been traveling excessively by that time. So he assigned his senior disciples to help in these when they are going to new centers and opening. So of course, if we think it like from our perspective, it's like, we are only doing the minimum service. Like we go, of course we do at our own devotional service, and then if you're trying to help in the temple or something things are established, and we just get only a slice of the service that we do. But if we just think how things were, like as I was mentioning earlier, that Yamuna Devi and Gurudas Prabhu, they were there, who were the main in charge of like training them to be able in 2 years to be able to open a center. So that was like, if you try to think in these days, there's so many disciples, but opening center is uh, very few devotees are taking that. Of course, it's happening at a much slower pace because, of course, there are so many, more than 800 temples now. But at that time, if you just think, just two disciples or two devotees trying to do that. So how empowered, like, when a great devotee comes, like he was Prabhupada, like he is Shakta avatar. So he, of course, came with his Parshads. All these disciples, they were like, very empowered, even though very young age, newly married and everything, but they did everything. They followed Prabhupada, Guru, their spiritual master's instruction, had the faith in Krishna, and they were just able to deliver things like which for us is beyond uh, conceiving. We cannot perceive like that this could be done in such a less time. So yeah, we read these letters and get so much inspiration here. Thank you, Prabhu. That's my takeaway. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Very beautifully explained about all those pastimes. Again, still it is present. We are doing and seeing. Very nice. Thank you so much, Mataji. Okay, any other points, dear devotees, you wanted to add? Saranya Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Nothing specific, Prabhu. Mataji has completed, covered all the point, explained very nicely. Yes, we are very, we are not doing anything like significant when compared to the service that they were rendering. Like they were giving everything to the service. So yes, Prabhu. Nothing specific, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hemlata Mataji, you wanted to add anything?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I just joined, Prabhu. I didn't read letter. Sorry.
Okay. No worries, Mataji. Thank you. Okay, so that is from Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah, Prabhu, and then just a little mention, I just forgot the first line. Yeah, Prabhupada, like he's got a daughter, I think. She's saying she's nicely sitting up by this time. So, yeah, Vraja Devi. That's right. Yeah. So, yeah, Vibhavati was the wife and little daughter. So, so many disciples he had, and their individual progress. I mean, of course, they're getting first initiated, then married, and then as the family expands. So he's like, with so much going on in those 12 years, with so much of uh, busy life he had, and then still inquires about like little things, like she must be sitting up by this time. So thinking how, like, maybe 7 or 8 months maybe. So he's like giving a personal touch to his like family. So that's also very sweet of Prabhupada. So yeah, I just noticed that. Thought I'll mention. Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Okay, so now by this time they might be in 50 years or something like that. Okay, so that is from Srila Prabhupada's letter, and encouraging everyone to go and open the centers, and center needs to completely depend on Krishna, and but the pattern worship of Krishna, deity worship, and the classes must be keep going on. That is very important. Okay, so that is my takeaway as well. Thank you, Mataji. And from the announcements point of view, so today evening we have got a Bhagavad Gita session at 7 p.m. And dear devotees, we are raising the contributions for the Narsimha Chaturdasi as an offering to the Narsimha Day services. As soon as possible, kindly contribute. though we have got time, but bookings are done, so we have to send the Lakshmi to the corresponding departments. Okay, so that is one update. And dear devotees, if you have got any other updates or you wanted to share anything on Krishna consciousness, kindly share. Otherwise, we shall move to the Vaikuntha descriptions.
Okay. Hare Krishna Prabhu. I transferred some Lakshmi yesterday, and then maybe next month also some.
Okay, yeah, that's great. Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you for your wonderful service. And a couple of devotees also did it. It is very nice. So it is generally whenever before Ekadasi's fastings and that time before you break the fast and Dwadasi, prior to that, if you do that one, it is most auspicious. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Usha Mataji and Meena Mataji as well.
Yeah, I will also do same next month, like after Ekadasi.
Yes, Mataji, I know you follow the rules very particularly and strictly. Thank you so much, Mataji. Okay, any other updates? Okay, so in that case, we shall move to the next part of Srimad Bhagavatam. The third canto, we are in the Vaikuntha now. So where the conversation, the Lord is there, Jaya and Vijaya are there, and four Kumaras are there, and the Lord, all his entourage like Nanda, Sunanda, they're all assembled there at the place where the Kumaras are there. Let me just share that one again to Vaikuntha descriptions. Okay, so this is the Vaikuntha where the Lord is speaking now. So after seeing the Lord, four Kumaras, they have prayed to the Lord, and later on the Lord started speaking to the Kumaras and mentioning that I always serve the Brahmanas. So Lord is glorifying the Brahmanas. And then in a sequence, he was mentioning very beautiful verses. My devotees who have taken my name, if they have not followed like principles of sadhu, then they have to be treated just like if there is kind of any disease on the skin, it needs to be treated properly. Otherwise, it will spread and it will ruin the entire body. Likewise, Ennamanicha Guruknati Loko Britya Krutagasi. So Asadhuval Tatkirtim Hanti Twacham Ivamayha. So just even the little thing, so the Lord wanted to rectify it. Just like Hanti Twacham Iva Amayaha, like a disease on the skin, it needs to be treated very quickly. And then he was mentioning, so before he mentions that one, he says to that Kumaras, this is Brahma Daivam Paramhime. For me, Brahmanas are just like my worshipable, likewise the Lord says. Brahma Daivam Paramhime. In such a way, he is glorifying the Brahmanas. यस्यामृतमलयशः श्रवणावगाहः सद्यः पुनाति जगद् अश्वपचाद्विकुण्ठः सोऽहं भवब्ज उपलब्धसुदीर्घकीर्तिः किन्यां स्वबाहुम्यपवः प्रतिकूलवृत्तिं यत्सेवया चरणपद्मपवित्ररेणुं सद्यः चताकिलमलं प्रतिलब्धशीलं न श्रीः विरक्तिमपि मां विजहाति यस्याः प्रेक्षालवाद्दैतरे नीमान् वहन्ति नाहं तदात्मि यजमानहविर्विताने चोतद्वृतप्लमदन्हृतभुक्मुखेन यद्ब्राह्मणस्य मुखतः चरतोऽनुघातं तुष्टस्य मयि अभितैः निजकर्मपाकैः येषां बिभर्म्यहम् अखण्डविकुण्ठयोग माया विभूतिरमलाङ्गिरिरजः किरीटैः विप्रां तु को न विषहेत यदर्हणाम्बः सद्यः पुनाति स चन्द्रललामलोकान् ये अनुद्विजवरान् दुहतीः मदीयाः भूतान्यलब्धशरणानि च वेदभुज्यम् द्रक्ष्यन्त्यगक्षतदृशो हि मन्यवस्तान् वृद्धारुषा मम कुशिन्ति अधिदण्डनेतुः ये ब्राह्मणान् मैदिया क्षिपतो अर्चयन्तः तुष्यत्पृतः स्मितसुदोक्षितपद्मवक्त्राः वाण्यानुरागकलयात्मजवद्गृणन्तः सम्बोधयन्ति अहमुपाहृतास्तैः. So, in such a way, the Lord has glorified Brahmanas. So, what is the essence of all these shlokas? He has mentioned, I always render service to Brahmanas. That we see just an example when Krishna was washing the feet of Brahmanas and sprinkling water on top of his head. And also one more pastime that when he was having a headache and then he was asking for the dust of the feet of my devotees. So that is one thing. And I am glorified in such a way because I am engaging in the service of the Brahmanas. And I am glorified that whoever just remembers my name, immediately they will be purified. And I always incline towards the devotees. And in such a way, and if Brahmanas are eating the prasadam through their mouth, I feel more satisfied than eating the oblations offered in the fire sacrifices. And then he mentions that I take the dust of the feet of Brahmanas and Vaishnavas on my head, on my kirita, on my helmet, and who would not dare to take that dust? So even Ganges, which is emanating from my feet, which is purifying Lord Shiva and all the planetary systems. But I'm taking the stuff of Brahmanas and Vaishnavas and keeping on my head. Who will not dare to do it? So he is glorifying his Brahmanas and the Vaishnavas. And also, if such kind of Brahmanas are always, um, if one thinks that they are unprotected by just looking at their body and their meekness, and if anyone try to harm them, such kind of people will be punished very severely by the Yamabhatas, the Yamadharmaraja soldiers. Just like a vulture tears the body of the snake, likewise they will punish the miscreants who are harming the living entities like the cows, brahmanas, and who doesn't have any other shelter except the Supreme Lord. So they're also part of the part of the Supreme Personality, body of the Personality of Godhead. And then later on, he mentions that and people, when the brahmanas are speaking, even though in harsh words, if anyone is uh, receiving those words with a very smiling face, thinking that only Lord only speaking through the Brahmanas, such kind of people are more dearer to the Lord. They attracts the heart of the Lord. Likewise, Lord also mentioning. So indirectly he is glorifying Jaya and Vijaya and also directly glorifying these Brahmana Kumaras, the four Kumaras. So here Jaya and Vijaya they did not even they did not react or counteract the words of the Brahmanas. They simply humbly they um, Pado Apapatam. So in the previous chapter, they have been falling Dandavat Pranam to these four Kumaras, thinking that Brahmanas, so uh, your curse is acceptable because of these offenses, but wherever we go, we always wanted to remember the Supreme Lord only. Likewise, Sadyohari Arucharu Guru Bibbita Tat Padagrahu Apapatam Atikatarena. They fall down on the floor in front of the Brahmanas. That is the humbleness of Jaya and Vijaya. And when the Lord was saying that one, uh, Sambhodhayanti ahamiva aham upahutastaihi. So thinking that only Lord only speaking through the Brahmanas in such a way they think such kind of devotees like Jaya and Vijaya are very attractive in the heart of the Lord, indirectly glorifying Jaya and Vijaya as well. So that means he is always inclined to the brahmanas and the devotees. That is the Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Bhaktavatsalaha. He is always Bhaktavatsala. So in such a sequence, so after saying that one, now he is asking to the Kumaras, saying that so this my Pashvadas, the Jaya and Vijaya, they have made an offense towards you, O Brahmanas, O Kumaras. So, and also kindly show your mercy on them so that in very due course of time, in short span of time, they will come back to Vaikuntha and situate themselves back in their positions. Likewise, the Lord is saying to Kumaras. Okay, so the way we shall see that one, what he is saying. So we are in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, chapter 16, verse number 12. So we see wherever we go into the temples, there is a Jaya and Vijaya. Their deities are installed in front of the temple. Either in the Mayapur temple also, there is a Jaya and Vijaya also. And mostly we would see in the South Indian temples, so Jaya and Vijaya, they're always standing outside. So sometimes we see in the Srimad Bhagavatam when Krishna has killed Hiranyakshipu, Hiranyaksha, and Ravanasura, Kumbhakarna, Sisupala, and Dantavakra, and sometimes we may be having a conception that they have merged into the impersonal Brahman. So here, these verses, it mentions that they are restored into their original position, like a Jaya and a Vijaya. This is this verse. So we shall recite this verse. तन्मे स्वबुद्धुरवसाय मलक्षमाणौ युष्मद्व्यतिक्रमगतिं प्रतिपद्य सद्यः भूयो ममान्तिकामितां तदनुग्रहो मे यत्कल्पतामचिरतो मृतयोर्विवासः तन्मे स्वभुट्टुरवसाय मलक्षमाणौ युष्मद्व्यतिक्रमगतिं प्रतिपद्य सद्यः Tanme, so Tanme is the by there, therefore Tanme my Swabhattuhu of their master. So who is the master of Jaya and Vijaya? Is the Supreme Lord. So Tanme Swabhattuhu Avasayam. Avasayam is the intention. Alakshamano is not knowing the intention of the master. So master is the Lord, he is inclined to the Brahmanas and the devotees. But here, and Jaya and Vijaya, so the Lord is mentioning that, so they did not know the intention of their master. So because of that, Yushmad Vitikramagatim, and they made offense against you. Yushmad Vitikramagatim, Pratipadya Sadyaha, and reaping immediately the results now. So they got the curse. Pratipadya Sadyaha, reaping those results of the offenses that you have already cursed them now. So now what needs to be done? And the Lord is asking on behalf of and Jaya and Vijaya. See, he wanted to protect Jaya and Vijaya as well. Bhoyo mamantikam itam tad anugraho me. Bhoyo again mamantikam. So in the mama antikam, near me, obtain, itam, obtain, tad anugraho me. So tad anugraho me, and you just do the favor unto me, so that they will come back to me. And yet kalpatam, which let it be arranged. At achirat brutayor vivasaha. Achirat, not very long. Brutayoho, of these two servants. Vivasaha, exile. So please show your mercy in such a way that they will come back to me again and restore in their positions in short time only. See, it is the Lord is saying, they may return to my presence soon, and the time of their exile, my abode may expire before long. So likewise, the Lord is asking to Kumaras. So translation and purport. Can I request anyone to read this translation and purport, please?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I'll read.
Yes, Mataji.
Translation. These servants of mine have transgressed against you, not knowing the mind of their master. I shall therefore deem it a favor done to me. If you order that, although reaping the fruit of their transgression, they may return to my presence soon, and at the time of their exile from my abode may expire before long. Purport. From this statement, we can understand how anxious the Lord is to get his servitor back into Vaikuntha. Therefore, this incident proves that those who have once entered a Vaikuntha planet can never fall down. The case of Jaya and Vijaya is not a fall down, it's just an accident. The Lord is always anxious to get such devotees back again to the Vaikuntha planet as soon as possible. It is to be assumed that there is no possibility of a misunderstanding between the Lord and the devotees. But when there are discrepancies or disruptions between one devotee and another, one has to suffer the consequences, although that suffering is temporary. The Lord is so kind to his devotees that he took all the responsibilities for the doorman's offense and requested the sages to give them facilities to return to Vaikuntha as soon as possible. Hare Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Mataji. So, would you like to explain, Mataji, here?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Um, all I understood is from this purport is Lord is so merciful on his devotees. Doesn't matter what kind of offense they do, he never leave them, and always eager to bring them back to the back to his abode. So same thing happened in Jaya Vijaya's case as well. And even though they got cursed from the sages, Lord is still asking sages mercy on them and how they can come back to the Vaikuntha Lok as soon as possible. So that's what I understand. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Very nicely understood and explained.
Thank you.
Gaurangi Mataji, would you like to explain this one? Your understanding?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I didn't listen properly, Prabhuji, so I cannot sorry about that, Prabhuji.
Okay. So here, the Lord is asking the Kumaras that, so Jaya and Vijaya were cursed by the Kumaras. So now, oh sages, please kindly arrange in such a way they will come back to Vaikuntha back soon, very short span of time, very quickly. So the Lord is asking the Kumaras. Asha Mataji wanted to add anything?
I thought the same thing because he's so merciful, so he doesn't want his devotees be away from him. So he wanted them to come back soon as possible. So he's asking the Kumaras to make sure they come back again soon. Because it was not a punishment; it was an accident. So we can conclude that whoever go to Vaikuntha, they don't come back. They might hold for a while, but they go back as soon as possible because of the Lord's mercy. That's all I have to do.
Very beautiful. Thank you so much, Mataji. Yes, as soon as one is surrendered himself unto the Lord's lotus feet, and then Lord will take over him. Dehopi daivashikaha kalu karma yavat swarambakam pratisamikshita eva sasuhu. So he will come directly under the supervision of the Supreme Lord. He will arrange everything. So here Jaya and Vijaya, they have been serving the Lord for very long. I mean, so Vaikuntha is always eternal. But here, Jaya and Vijaya, they are in their service. So Lord knows he is the Brahmanyo Bhaktavachalaha. And yes, so though knowingly or unknowingly, if they have done this mistake, and still the Lord is personally coming and requesting this Brahmanas. They may return to my presence soon, and the time of their exile from my abode may expire before long, very soon. But how long it has happened? In the Satya Yuga, and then Treta Yuga, and then Dwapara Yuga. In the Satya Yuga, like a Hiranyakshipu, Hiranyaksha, and then later on, they are Hiranyakshipu, Hiranyaksha, the children of Diti, and Kashyapa Prajapati. So that happened in the Kruta Yugam, the Satya Yugam, and then in the Treta Yuga, Kumbhakarna and Ravana, and the age of Dwapara Yuga. So this is again with Shishpala and Dantavakra. So it is not very long in terms of the Lord's calculations, very short span. But for us as humans, it is very long. They have been written back to the Vaikuntha now. So there is no questions about here. We directly see the statements of the Lord. And here Prabhupada is describing the Lord is always anxious. How anxious the Lord is to get his servitor back into Vaikuntha. Therefore, this incident proves that those who have once entered the Vaikuntha planet can never fall down. Can never fall down. So that means even though it appears that even in our day-to-day life, if we see apiche sudhuracharo bhajite mam ananya bhag sadhareva samantyavyaha samyak vyavhito hi saham. If one person has committed any abominable activity, knowingly or unknowingly, but still if he is situated, bhajate mam ananyabhav, he is situated in a unflinching devotional service unto me. One has to treat him sadhureva samantavyaha, just like a saintly person only. Samyak vyavhito hi saha. So this is because of his position, because he is always rendering devotional service. Or in all times and circumstances. That is the position of a devotee. He will never ever fall down. One has to treat him that he is a sadhu only. So here it is just an accident. In case of Jaya and Vijaya, it is just an accident. It is not a fall down. And here the Lord is always anxious to get such devotees back again to the Vaikuntha planets as soon as possible. So when we understand what is the accident, what is the fall down? Fall down means one is reacting to the Kumaras here. For example, we have not done any mistake and we are trying to defend the Vaikuntha planet. If keep saying like that, that is called fall down. Explaining or reacting and judging themselves, that is called fall down. And it is called the influence of some kind of arguments, external energy of the Lord. Of course, the external energy does not enter into the Vaikuntha, but we see in this material world, if we are trying to judge ourselves, why we have done, and making the conversations, that is called fall down. But here, Jaya and Vijaya, they did not make any conversations with the Kumaras. Because as soon as Kumaras they have got angry and felt that they were offended and they have cursed them, but Jaya and Vijay simply quietly they have just fall on their feet. That is the quality of a devotee. We do not at any point of time we do not defend ourselves. Then we fall down from the devotional. This chanting we cannot do the chanting properly also. So this is Tiriskrutaha, Vipralabdaha, Kshiptaha, Chaptaha, Hatavapi. So न प्रतिकुर्वन्ति. So Tadbhaktaha na pritikurvanti. Even Tadbhaktaha Prabhuvopihi. Even they are powerful enough to counteract, but they do not counteract. Even though they are Tiriskrutaha, that means they are neglected. Tiriskrutaha Vipralabdaha, and ignored and get offended. Kshiptaha hatavapi, even though they were killed, but they will never defend themselves personally. But we so many times we see it, if as soon as one person says something, immediately we will give counter answers. That is not the quality of a devotee. So here, in case of Jaya and Vijaya, it is not a fall down. It is just an accident. So this is the quality of the devotees. And for such kind of devotees, the Lord is always behind and trying to help. Just like even Ambarish Maharaj as well, the similar kind of example. Even Ambarish Maharaj, he did, when Durvasa Muni was trying to uh, that create the demand to go and punish the Ambarish Maharaj immediately. But Ambarish Maharaj, he is simply observing what is happening. Oh, gigantic personality was created and he is coming to approach him. That he is simply observing. But actually, what happened? The Sudarsana Chakra went and it killed that demon and chased the Durvasa Muni also. Here, our Acharya says that do not counteract any kind of arguments or fight anything else. Always be humble. Do not expect any respect for yourself. Amanena manadena. So always be humble and meek, and then kirtaneyaha sadaharihi. You keep chanting. As much as possible, you say sorry to, even it is not your mistake, say sorry to them, and then keep doing kirtaneyaha sadaharihi. This is how Trunadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Sahishnuna. Here Jaya and Vijaya are an example of it. Tarorapi Sahishnuna. And for that, Lord is always anxious to get such devotees back again to the Vaikuntha planets as soon as possible. This is Sambhodayanti Aham Iva Aham Upakrutastaihi. Such kind of people, devotees, they are attracting the heart of the Lord. So for that one, Lord will never ever leave such kind of devotees. He is always anxious to get back into the Vaikuntha. It is to be assumed that there is no possibility of misunderstanding between the Lord and the devotees. There is no possibility of misunderstanding between the Lord and the devotees. But when there are discrepancies or disruptions between the devotee and the another, one has to suffer the consequences. And although that suffering is temporary, so one has to suffer these consequences. This is what we see. If we have committed any offenses or there are misunderstandings, discrepancies or disruptions, then what is the sufferer in the devotee's life? He cannot wake up early in the morning and right time and go for Mangalarati or chanting properly. When he's chanting, different things are coming, and then which is not related to devotees, some other problems, materialistic problems, they will enter into our life and always disturbing us. These are the kinds of offenses to the devotees. These offenses, they will come in a different way, different angle. So Vaishnava Aparadha, it must not be done at any point of time. Otherwise, one will suffer these consequences. Although that suffering is temporary, but he must be a devotee. And if he is a non-devotee and if he has done any offenses to the devotees, that's it. And without the mercy of the same devotees, he has to go through the hellish condition. If we see the this is Gopala Chapala, when he was trying to offend the Srivas Thakura when during the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Kirtani's times. he wanted to prove that this Srivas Thakura, he is not the devotee of Vishnu. Instead, he is the worshipper of goddess Kali. Likewise, Gopal Chapal, what he did, he took all the paraphernalia items that are required to worship goddess Kali. He took them and put in front of the Srivas Thakur's home in that night. And in the morning, Srivas Thakura looked at it and then seeing that what is these items, and he called everyone and then showed that later on some person who is cleaning the streets, that person came and then he removed those things. But later on, within a few days of time, Gopal Chapala was mm, he became infected with a disease, so that he cannot enter into the village, and he suffered a lot. And then later on, he went to the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He did not even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he did not accept him because of his offenses. At that time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not take sannyasa. Later on, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyasa and then came to the same place. And again, he approached the Lord. Then Lord spoke. So go and ask the forgiveness from the Srivas Thakur. And then he went there and then asked for the forgiveness. But Srivas Thakur, he did not take it much, and he immediately he forgave that Gopala Chapala. And later on, in due course of time, his disease gone away and he became a devotee of the Lord. So these offenses to the Vaishnavas is, and also misunderstandings. We should not have any grudge or negative feelings towards any of the Vaishnavas also, though they are of such kind of nature. Because we wanted only chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, somewhere or other render service unto the Supreme Lord, unto the devotees. That is our motto, not to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the Krishna consciousness. That is the first offense in the 10 offenses. So the Lord is so kind to his devotees that he took all the responsibility for the doorman's offense and request the sages to give them facilities to return Vaikunta as soon as possible. So this is the real master. He wanted his servants to be back into their positions. Brutayor Vivasaha. Achirato, not very long. Achirato, in short span of time, they need to come back to my planet. Brutayor Vivasaha, Brutayaha. So that's why we wanted to be like a Brutya of the Lord. When we have become the Brutya, then Lord will be very pleased and Lord will take care of ourselves. We simply need to be Brutya servant. Okay, so likewise, the Lord is saying, Tanme subhuttu ravasaya malakshamano yushmad vidikramaгаtim pratipajya sajjaha bhoyo mamantikamitam tad anugraho me yat kalpitamachirato brutayoru vivasaha. This is very beautiful verse. Dear devotees, would you like to recite this verse if you are happy? Otherwise, I'll recite once again. You kindly follow later on when I do. So first I will recite 2 more times and then line by line. Whenever I do line by line, you repeat 3 times and then later on you recite. Tanme swabhatturavasaya malakshmano yushmad vyatikramagratim pratipajya sadjaha bhuyo mamantikam itam tad anugraho me yat kalpatamachirato brutayor vivasaha. तन्मे स्वभक्तुरवसाय मलक्षमाणौ युष्मद्व्यतिक्रमगतिं प्रतिपद्य सद्यः भूयो ममान्तिकामितं तदनुग्रहो मे यत्कल्पतामचिरतो मृतयोर्विवासः. So now we shall do line by line and the dear devotees kindly repeat behind. तन्मे स्वभुक्तुरवसाय मलक्षमाणौ
तन्मे स्वभ्रतुरवसायम् अलक्ष्यमाणौ
युष्मद्व्यतिक्रमगतिं प्रतिपद्य सद्यः
युष्मद्विपतिक्रमगतिं
युष्मद्व्यतिक्रमगतिं प्रतिपद्य
प्रतिपदसद्यः
सद्यः
भूयो ममान्तिकाम् इतां तदनुग्रहो मे
भूयो ममान्तिकम् इदं तदनुग्रहो मे
तदनुग्रहामि
यत्कल्पतामचिरतो भृतयोर्विवासः
यत्कल्पतम्
यत्कल्पतामचिरतो
अचिरतो
मृतयोर्विवासः
भृतयोर्विवासः
Again. तन्मे स्वबुद्धिरवसायमलक्ष्यमाणौ
तन्मे
तन्मे
स्वभर्तुरवसाय
स्वभ्रतुरवश्यम्
मानवच्यमानो
अलक्ष्यमाणौ
युष्मद्व्यतिक्रमगतिं प्रतिपद्य सद्यः
युष्माद्वयते
युष्मद्वृत्तिक्रमगतिं प्रपद्य
विक्रमगतिं
सद्यः
प्रतिपद्य सद्यः
भूयो ममान्तिकम् इतां तदनुग्रहो मे
भूयो ममान्तिकम्
भूयोऽमान्तिकं
इदं
तद्
तदनुग्रहो मे
अनुग्रहो मे
यत्कल्पतामचिरतो भृतयोर्विवासः
यत्कल्पतम्
यत्कल्पतामचिरतो
अचिरतो भृतयोर्विवासः
भृतयोर्विवासः
Once more. तन्मे स्वबुद्धिरवसायमलक्ष्यमाणौ
तन्मे
तन्मे स्वभ्रतुरवश्यम्
स्वभर्तिरवश्यम्
अलक्ष्यमाणौ
अलक्ष्यमानो
युष्मद्व्यतिक्रमगतिं प्रतिपद्य सद्यः
युष्मद्वृत्तिक्रमगतिं
युष्मद्व्यतिक्रमगतिं
प्रतिपद्य सद्यः
प्रतिपदय सद्यः
भूयो ममान्तिकम् इतां तदनुग्रहो मे
भूयो
भूयो
ममान्तिकम्
ममान्तिकम्
इदं
इदं
तद्
तद् अनुग्रहो
अनुग्रहो
मे
यत्कल्पतामचिरतो भृतयोर्विवासः
यत्कल्पतम्
यत्कल्पतम् अचिरतो
अचिरतो
भृतयोर्विवासः
तयोर्विवशः
Very nice. So here, whenever we are reciting here, so tanme subhuttuhu avasayam. So when we split, but if you say bhattu ravasayam, just combine this one, bhattu ravasayam malakshamano. That way it will come beautifully. Otherwise avasayam alakshamano. So it will come when we are saying the different words separately. तन्मे स्वभुर्तुरवसाय malakshamaano. That way it will come in a rhythmic way. They combine with this word. Whenever we see the words, the alphabets, that vowels, then we can mix with the previous word. तन्मे स्वभुर्तुरवसाय malakshamaano. युष्मद् व्यतिक्रम गतिं प्रतिपद्य सद्यः भूयो ममान्तिकामितां तदनुग्रहो मे यत्कल्पता मचिरतो we just combining here bhrutayor vivasaha. So very beautiful when we are doing in a rhythmic way. Okay, can I request the dear devotees to recite this one? Who would like to do first? Gaurangi Mataji, would you like to go?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. I'll try Prabhuji.
Yes, ma'am.
तन्मे स्वभर्तुरवसाय मलक्ष्यमानो युष्मादयतिक्रम गतिं प्रतिपद्य साध्यः भूयो ममान्तिकमितं तदनुग्रहो मे यत्कल्पतामचरितो भृतयोर्विवासा. Three times, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji, go on.
तन्मे सभतुरवसाय मलक्ष्यमानो युष्माद्वयते क्रमगतिं प्रतिपाद्य साध्यः भूयो ममान्तिकमितं तदनुग्रहो मे यत्कल्पतमचिरतो वृतयोर्विवासः तन्मे स्वभर्तुरवसाय मलक्ष्यमानो युष्माद्वयते क्रमगतिं प्रतिपाद्य साध्यः भूयो ममान्तिकमितं तदनुग्रहो मे यत्कल्पतमचिरतो भृतयोर्विवासा. हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी.
Hare Krishna, very beautiful Mataji. Very nicely stated. Thank you. Hemlata Mataji, would you like to go?
Okay, Prabhu. Tanme swabhartur अवश्यं मलक्ष्यमाणो युष्मद् व्यतिक्रमगतिं प्रतिपद्य साध्यः भूयो ममान्तिकम् इदं तदनुग्रहो मे यत्कल्पतमचरितो भृतयो विवासः. हरे कृष्ण प्रभु.
To go 2 more times, Mataji.
Okay. तन्मे स्वभ्रतुर् अवश्यमलक्ष्मणो युष्मद् व्यतिक्रम गतिं प्रतिपद्य साध्यः भूयो ममान्तिकम् इतं तदनुग्रहो मे यत्कल्पतमचरितो भृतयोर्विवासः तन्मे स्वभ्रतु अवश्यमलक्ष्यमाणो युष्मद्व्यतिक्रम गतिं प्रतिपद्य साध्यः भूयो ममान्तिकम् इदं तदनुग्रहो मे यत्कल्पतमचरितो भृतयोर्विवासः. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Very beautiful Mataji. So this is Achirato. This is Achirato means not very long. Okay, but you have done very beautifully.
But you said, Prabhu, we can include M also. Kalpat Amacharito.
Yat kalpata machirato.
Oh, Macharito. Yeah, Macharito. Okay.
Chirato.
Yeah, okay.
Chirato. C-I-R-A-T. Chirato. Other Charita means it goes the Charita means history. The Chirato means not very. Achirato means very long, not very long.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Very beautiful recitation, Mataji. Asha Mataji, would you like to go?
तन्मे स्वबन्धुरवसयामलक्ष्यमाणौ युष्माभ्यतिक्रम कदिं प्रतिपत्य सद्यः भूयो ममान्तिकामिदां तत् अनुग्रहो मे यत्कल्पदामशिरदो दयोर्विवासः तन्मेष्वबर्धुर्नवशमलक्ष्यमाणौ युष्मद्व्यतिक्रम गतिं प्रतिपद्य सत्यः भूयो ममान्तिकामिदां तत् अनुग्रहो मे यत्कल्पदामशिरदो हृदयोर्विवासः. Hare Krishna. Sorry,
Can you go and smart Mataji?
one more time. तन्मे स्वबर्धुरवशयामलक्ष्यमाणौ युष्मद्व्यतिक्रम कदिं प्रपद्य सत्यः भूयो ममान्तिकामिदां तत् अनुग्रहो मे यत्कल्पदामशिरतो हृदयोर्विवासः.
Very beautiful. Thank you, Mataji. So here in this first line, if you see here, and here in the Sanskrit, this one Sanskrit or Hindi. So Tanmay is here in the first one, and then entire line is only one kind of pronunciation like that. So this is Sobutturavasaya Malakshamano, just combined it in here. And then Yushmad Vitikramagatim is all one together like here. And Pratipadya Sadhyaha, and like two different words. Bhuyo, one word, and Mamantikamitam. This is Mamantikamitam. Tadanugrahomi is another word. And this is yat kalpatam achirato, yat kalpatam achirato, chi rato. And here, brutayor vivasaha. So this is combined one word. So here it comes like a rhythmic sounds. And here in English, the splitting of the words for our convenience to see and like the synonyms. Bruta achirataha, brutayaho, vivasaha, like that. For our convenience to pronounce, understand each and every word. This is Tanme Sobhutravasaya Malakshmano Yushmad Vyatikrama Pratipadya Sadhyaha Bhoyo Mamantika Mitam Tadanagraho Me Yat Kalpatam Achirato Brutoyor Vivasaha. Very beautiful verse. Anyone would like to read the translation again? Just the translation. Asha Mataji.
Translation. These servants of mine have transgressed against you, not knowing the mind of their master. I shall therefore deem it a favor done to me if you order that. Although reaping the fruit of their transgression, they may return to my presence soon, and the time of their exile from my abode may expire before long.
Hare Krishna. Very nice. So this is the compassionate Lord towards his devotees. Okay. Anyone has got any questions or any sharings you wanted to share?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I have questions. So it took so long for Jaya Vijaya to come back. I mean, every yuga they were going back to Vaikuntha, isn't it? After Lord was killing them, and then they were born in another yuga, and then another yuga, like that. So Lord was also experiencing and enjoying Veeras with them, fighting with them, and all sort of conspiracies. So, and here it says that as soon as possible, not longer, like that. But it took so long. I mean, are they still in Vaikuntha, or is Kali Yuga now they are here? Do you think?
So the first thing is the time duration. In our calculations, it is very long. If the ant is thinking about our time, for ant, it thinks that, oh, so many yugas, but we may think that is only one day. But for ant, ant it everything, the time is relative. And for us, this calculation, the Krita Yuga, Treta Yuga, and then Dwapar Yuga, Kali Yuga. So these are all 1 day of Brahma. It is calculated 4.3 billion years, and the night time is also of the same time. So totally 8.6 billion years in 1 day of Brahma. And in 1 day of Brahma, there are 1,000 Yuga cycles are there. And each Yuga cycle is 4.3 million years. One that is one Mahayuga is the 4.3 million years. That is Krita Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga. It is 4.3 million years. Again, with this one, 1.7 million years is for Krita Yuga, and 1.2 million years for Treta Yuga, and 0.8 million years for Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga is 0.4 million years. Altogether, 4.3 million years. But if it is 1 day of Brahma, again, if we divide that 1 day of Brahma's day into 10 parts, within that one part that we see, it is 4.3 million years. So this is again the calculations, but actually it is not very long. From in terms of Brahma's lifespan, it is calculated that Chakshur Chakshur Animesha Kalam Brahma Brahma, within a blink of time, so many Brahmas are dying. That is the verdict of the Shastras. So, in that perspective, how much time is there absent of Jaya and Vijaya from the Vaikuntha? It is nothing. And from the human calculations, that it appears that it is very long. And here again, Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, we are in the seventh Manvantara of the Brahma's day. It is almost a midday to Brahma. Not even midday. So in the Brahmas have got 14 Manus in a day. And out of this, yes, seventh Manvantara, it is almost a midday. It is the daytime and midday of the Brahma. Within this Manvantara, this is the Vaivashvata Manvantara, already 28 cycles have been completed. We are in the, 27 are completed. We are in the 28th cycle. Within this 28th cycle, actually, each Yuga, Mahayuga, is the Kruta Yuga or Satya Yuga first, and then second is the Dwapara Yuga, third is the Treta Yuga, fourth is the Kali Yuga. That is the order. But in this particular 28th cycle, what has happened? This Dwapara Yuga and Treta Yuga, they are swapped. So because of the adjustments. So if you see, Dwa means 2, Tra means 3. So Dwa comes as the second, Treta Yuga comes as the third, and then after that Kali Yuga. But for the Krishna's appearance, this Dwapara Yuga, Dwapare sam anuprapte tritiya yuga paryaye. This Dwapara Yuga and the Treta Yuga, they are overlapped for the appearance of the Krishna. At the time, Jataha Parasharadhogi was Kalaya Vasavyam Harehe, and the Lord also appeared as a Vyasadeva. So that is the statement. So here, Dwapara Yuga and Treta Yuga are overlapped in this 28th cycle, which we are now. Sometimes we may be seeing different kinds of time durations like that. It is difficult to even calculate like that because of this overlap. So sometimes we may see that how long Ramchandra was born and how long Krishna was there on the planet, such kind of things. So it needs some kind of, but actually Ramachandra, he has whatever the Valmiki Ramayana we have been reading, it has happened on the 24th cycle of Vaivashvata Manvantara. Now we are in the 28th cycle of Manvantara. So that means a few Mahayugas have already passed. That means one Mahayuga is of 4.3 million years. So that distance, if we calculate like that, 4.3, 24 to 28. So just around 10 million years of our human calculations. Then actual Ramchandra. Of course, there are other incarnations also appearing uh, in different places and the circumstances. Lord appears and he performs his activities. But Krishna has appeared 5,000 years ago. At that time, these calculations were, these adjustments of the Treta Yuga and the Dwapara Yuga have calculated. But here, when it comes to the Jaya and Vijaya, so as Hiranyakshipu and Hiranyaksha, once they were killed by the Lord, and they will go back to Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu. In this universe, Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu. So they will be staying there. And then again they will come back as a Ravanasura and Kumbhakarna. Again go back. Again finally Sisupala and Dantavakra. And then finally they will leave out of this universe and go to the Vaikuntha permanently. So until that 3 lives they have spent here, they will be staying with the Vishnu only. Even I had got this kind of questions, but they are never separate from the Lord.
Yeah, Prabhu, one more thing. When Mahaprabhu came is just 500 years back. It's not that long, maybe 8, 9 Janma, birth of us, if we calculate according to our life, 80, 90 years of life. So that didn't happen long time back, isn't it?
Yes.
So that time, this is not mentioned. Is he avatar for Kali Yuga? Because there were so many avatars, no, so many saintly people were born that time, like in other religion also, like in Sikhism, Guru Nanak Dev and so many saints, they came 500 600 year back. So that time Jaya Vijaya didn't come with Mahaprabhu.
So, whenever the Lord appears, he will come with all his entourage, all his devotees. So here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes. So if we see the Goloka chart, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is kind of a from the Goloka chart. So it is mentioned here. His residence is the Goloka Vrindavan. In the where Krishna performs in one side of Goloka Vrindavan, he performs his pastimes. And other side, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So whenever he comes here, he comes with his entourage. So here, this is the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his company. And other side, Krishna's pastimes are going on. So here, whenever he comes, the Lord comes, he comes with all his expansions, incarnations, and everything else. This is Gurun. Um, Vande Gurun Isha Bhaktan Isham Ishavatarkan Tat Prakasham Ch Tat Shaktihi Krishna Chaitanya Sanjakam. Tat Shaktihi Tat Prakashamsha and Ishavatarakan. These are all expansions of the Lord. They also come along with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So like Srivas Thakur is the incarnation of Narada Muni and Nityananda Prabhu is the incarnation of Balaram. So likewise, everyone, all are the different expansions. So they are from the Goloka Vrindavana. And here in the Vaikunta, Jaya and Vijaya are here. Jaya and Vijaya are belonging to the Vaikunta planet.
Yeah, yes, Prabhu. So I was thinking, this Jagai Madhai, they were creating trouble when Mahaprabhu and I mean, they were doing Sankirtan and spreading Nam Hata everywhere. So were they Jaya Vijaya? I'm just thinking, Prabhu. Or no?
So some of the gurus they mentioned that so the propensity of Jaya Hiranyakshipu and Hiranyaksha, Ravanasura, Kumbhakarna, and Sisupala and Dantavakra in different ages. In this age of Kali, Jagai Madai also like that. Of course, yeah, wherever we see only Jagai and Madai in this age now. That is
Yeah.
all the people only. It is not just only that Jagai Madai during the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Everyone are now just like that. So this is the propensity of the bad elements. That way, in the age of Kali Yuga, we need to understand like that propensity, not the directly persons. If otherwise, if we see everyone is one Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakshipu, everyone is like a Ravanasura and Kumbhakarna, everyone is Sisupala and Dantavakra. All are like that. But previously, there were very because the Parshvadas of the Lord, they have appeared for a particular purpose. And similarly, in the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela also, Jagaya Madai was appearing there.
Yeah. And one more thing, Prabhu, we are very fortunate because Mahaprabhu appeared just 500 years ago, and we are in same era. It's not that long. We are born almost in same era, isn't it? Not like 5,000
Yes.
years ago when Krishna came.
Yes, Mataji.
So
We are
it's not
very
far.
fortunate. Yes. we are very fortunate because previously people, even for 6,000 years ago, people who are born, they used to perform this deity Acha Vigraha, such kind of processes. Now, in this age of Kali, just Kirtana Deva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Param Brajet, just glorifying the names, chanting the holy names of the Lord. That way, one will be free from this material entanglement. But it is, if you look at the circumstances, it was conducive for them to execute those devotional services, archana, to the deities. It was conducive. Now it is not that much conducive. But still, we in the ISKCON we follow that deity worship, archana, and chanting the holy names at one side, reading the scriptures at one side, and we do the street sankirtana. So everything makes it one as perfect devotee of the Lord. And we have got pastimes of the Krishna, and we have got pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So many literatures. We know who is what. Vyasadeva has given all the literatures, revealed everything, all the absolute truth. But previously, before Vyasadeva has compiled, even if we think of before 5,000 years ago, people they do not have this kind of literatures. Just it was only the Ramayana was there before that. But though these literatures were not that much expanded, they used to hear the Shruti mantras only from the spiritual master, just through the disciplic section, hearing and then follow the instructions. Hearing only. Evam parampara praptam imam raj. Now we have got all the knowledge. Vyasdev has revealed the absolute truth through the Srimad Bhagavatam, Mahabharata, and also all the 18 Puranas, Vedanta Sutra. So many Upanishads are there. We are very fortunate. Yes, Mother. Indeed, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by his mercy, we are able to take all these things, understand very easily. And Prabhupada has given more elaborately in a way we understand in the conditioned state.
Yeah.
We are very fortunate.
Yeah, and one more thing, we have all evidences in Mayapur and all Navdeep, where they perform their leelas, like Srivas Thakur's house where Mahaprabhu was born, that neem tree, and all other um, evidences, they are intact and worshipable. Like for Krishna's Leela, some of them were disappeared and then were recovered by Goswamis and Mahaprabhu and all. But Mahaprabhu's Leela's sthalis are still around, isn't it?
Yes.
Mm.
Yes, Mataji. So that is absolutely right. And so here, whenever Krishna, and then once Krishna's disappearance, all of his family was uh, disappeared from this planet. In due course of time, we see the descendants of the Parikshit Maharaj and Jaya and his children for until some point, until, and also Krishna's grandson's son, great grandson Vajranabha, and his establishment of the temples. We see up to certain point, but later on there were many invaders came into this country, and then doing, if we see many temples, so many places, we are getting wonders that invaders come and built the mosques on top of the temples. It is very abominable activity. That way many temples are now buried under these mosques.
Yeah.
So this is very nowadays we are still, there are many things to be revealed like that. But yes, nowadays we are seeing many of these temples are preserved within our vision, and there was not much media like that. If there is something in the temple, some people will go and do it. Though people protest it for some time, and then if they are stopping such kind of protest, after that they will forget in due course of time. There is no media to preserve. There are no scriptures that mentioning about such kind of invasions. Of course, everything is now being recorded by somewhere other in the past 2000 years, 3000 years like that. But it is getting increasing more and more to preserve such kind of temples and all the places like that. We are very fortunate, Mataji. And also, you have been to all these holy places, Mataji. Kindly would you
Yes.
share those knowledge, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu. So, in Mayapur, one of the monk from Jharkhand, Gurukul, he came to guide us because we didn't know. I mean, going Mayapur is okay, stay there and go to temple and maybe nearby temples, but to the specific place which we keep reading in our books and all, we don't know. So he was kind enough and he took leave and he came us to take us around. So we went to uh, Bhakti Siddhant Saraswati's house also, and his father's house. I forgot his name, Prabhu.
Bhakti Nadi Thakur.
Yeah, and the deities he used to worship, and where he used to write scriptures, and he used to see. So from his house, from his room, where he used to write his scriptures, there is a window, and he could imagine, he could see in future there will be this Mayapur temple will be coming up. It was his vision. So that also we could see, and the railway line still there, and Srinivasa Thakur's house, where Mahaprabhu used to do every day chanting and Sankirtan, and where Nityanand Prabhu saw Parvati Devi, I think, came. She gave him darshan there, first time when he started preaching from that place. So many places, interior places in the villages, that Prabhu he took us there, where usually not many devotees go. Very very interior of those villages, Prabhu. It was not easy journey there. Very I mean, roads were not properly made, like in villages we have kacha pakka type of roads and like that. So we went so many places. Yes, Prabhu. It was nice. And most of these, because these temples are under Gaudiya Math, so they are not well maintained. They don't have that much of finances, I think, to take care of. So which was not good. I mean, not nice to see them in that way. And there are not many devotees go, no much of collection there. So this was not nice to see. Harihara temple and so many temples were there, but they are not in good condition.
Is that only Mayapur temple, Mataji, you have visited or any other places?
No, we stayed in Mayapur, inside Mayapur temple, but in the campus. But we were going out, all these old temples where Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he had done so many things here and there. So there also we did go around, across this river, the Jalangi river, where Jalangi and Ganga river they meet in Navdeep. There are different dweeps, no, Prabhu. So we went there.
So every day morning you go and then in the evening you come back to the...
Yeah, like afternoon, 3-4 o'clock, we used to come back. Sometimes it used to become late night also.
And then attend the temple aartis.
Then, yeah, in the evening. So every day morning, uh, they sing this bhajan, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, Daya Karo Mora. It's so emotional, so emotional. Every day, same bhajan. So good.
Yes, very beautiful, Mataji.
Very nice, Prabhu, when you go there.
How
I
many
mean,
days you stayed, Mataji?
8 days, Prabhu.
Very nice spirit.
We should go together, Prabhu. We all can um, make a plan and arrange, book accommodation there, and that it will be nice from the Sangha. Because we all are going there on and off, but uh, alone. So better to go. Even 4 5 devotees, if they plan together and go, it will be nice and see all those old places.
Yes, Mataji. Yeah, that would be very one. I don't know if it. Yeah, we can
And
make that.
it's not far, it's not very expensive. Train is so cheap. Cheap means cheaper than this country na. Like from Delhi to Havra, train ticket was like in the second class AC, it was 7,500. uh, so yeah, 7,500 return ticket, Prabhu.
Yes.
It's not expensive. And from Kolkata or Havra to Mayapur by taxi is 4,000 rupees, which is not expensive. 40 pound. So it wasn't that. I mean, I was thinking maybe it will be expensive, this and that, but it was okay. Not expensive, Prabhu. It's just you have to have time.
Yes, Mataji. Yeah, time is the it is the main thing. Meena Mataji, she has covered all the Char Dham within 6 weeks of time, even going to Rameshwaram, Ranganath, Tirumala, and Mayapur, Dwaraka, those things, and Kedarnath, those all temples.
Okay. Okay.
Many temples, Meena Mataji was describing that she was traveling through the trains and buses, and as much as night time, she goes in the train journeys like that. So she saved not even costed more than 2,000 pounds, but all over that journey.
Okay. Yeah, that's good, but you have to have I can't do that. When I go to one dham, I want to understand, listening to Bhagavatam, and also when I want to go one dham, I want to take benefit of going there, not like just going for darshan and then next day is another journey, next time is another journey, not like that. So I want to enjoy that dham and understand pastimes over there and stay there, and then next time, next holiday is another dham. Like that I prefer, Prabhu. I'm not saying
Yes, yes,
it's because
Mataji.
my convenience, but just going for 2 3 days and then 2 3 days somewhere else and travel and tired, and this it doesn't appeal me actually, Prabhu.
Yeah, that is again in another angle. Devotees how they wanted to relish this.
Yeah, that's true, that's true. But yeah, like when we went to um, 2 years back, Badrinath, Kedarnath, Badrinath, but it is, I'm from there, so it's not bad. But so we stayed there long. We went around all the, when you go there, you can see the small temples. Even they have their pastimes and leela. They have their significance why they are there. So I want to understand. Mm, yeah, so that's how I like, Prabhu, to go to dham.
Yeah. And that's going with the devotees. Then only they will relish. Otherwise,
Yeah.
for the
With devotees.
non-devotee, it will be tricky.
Yeah. So that Prabhu came and he gave us so much. He was explaining what Leela was happened. So many things I forgot even, Prabhu. But yeah, so it was more. We could understand more, not like just going, doing darshan and coming back. It was not like that. He was telling in detail what pastime had happened and how, yeah, why we are here. So very nice.
So beautiful.
Mm.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for sharing this, your tip and the journey. This we have been waiting for you to explain, waiting for. Yeah, now time is, but devotees they have been in the temple now.
Yeah, because there is Yagna, Gita Yagna today, Gita Jayanti Yagna. So all chapters they are reciting, and Swayam Bhagwan Keshav Maharaj will be explaining every chapter. So this is happening. It is started 8:30. It will start. I think 8:30 is already. It's 8:30. That's why everyone is going.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji. Okay, back to the verse. Anyone would like to share anything else? That is, we are very fortunate when we have got this human body again. There are so many things in this age of Kali, temptative things to get attracted of the nature, material nature, so many things. But we need to be keep composed in rendering devotional service, chanting Hare Krishna in the devotees association.
Yeah, and one more thing, Prabhu, I understand. Like Mahaprabhu was so approachable, because when you shared previous days that when Mahaprabhu went somewhere, I mean, when he used to go, thousands of people used to come for Sankirtan. So they could see his darshan and they were attending Sankirtan and going with him. So who knows, we were there maybe, Prabhu, those days.
Yeah, possibly, Mataji. So we might have seen, but we haven't got into. Otherwise, if you have been pure devotees of the Lord.
Yeah, because he said thousands and thousands of devotees they used to gather. So how come, Prabhu, when they used to listen, Mahaprabhu is coming from all villages, and so that time also there were too much population, it seems.
Yes, previously there were many people as well. So if you just go back again, many people were there. It is all people, and due to so many other things, and the population is getting reduced actually. But of course, in the last few years, we are seeing the increase only. Uh, Before that, even few hundred years back, there was so much of population. These people, invaders, they have killed many of those people.
Yeah.
And if we see in the Hastinapura, all these elephants and horses, millions of horses, millions of elephants, we could imagine how the cities are populated. If there are millions, means humans should be in billions.
True, Prabhu.
So this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's period is all auspicious, and many people they took part in that pastimes. Of course, whatever we are doing here, we are now Prabhupada's pastimes. We are also very fortunate.
Yeah.
We are Srila Prabhupada's pastimes. Just only 50 years just 50 years ago. We are still in the same period. When we are taking this Krishna consciousness and spreading, we will become part of it.
Yeah, true, Prabhu.
Okay, so thank you so much, Mataji. Any other things, dear devotees, you wanted to share or ask? Otherwise, we shall conclude our session. Continue with further japa.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yeah, I think about the Sri Bhagavan Lord Krishna time is 5,000 before, yeah, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Lord Krishna, when he was cowhead boy, that time there is 9 million or now 9 lakh cows there. How he can look after to him? I think about that. There is the now 9 lakh cow are managed. Then they have took a place home like one village. Then how can Krishna look after to him. They are the many. I think about that, Prabhuji, is my confused side. That's why I'm asking with you.
Yes, Mataji. So, how can this can be placed in one particular place, managing those cows?
Yes. There, Nana Maharaj have now 9 lakh cows, guys. So how he can keep their how Krishna look after to cow head goats and how he can manage. Then he played with every single cow and his friend. Then one cow went to before. Then how they are going to behind to him. The place is maybe there are also villages. Then they have to many places. I think about that, Prabhuji. It's nonsense question, Prabhuji.
No, it's not, Mataji. Sorry
No.
to disturb. But when we went there in Nand Maharaj in Vrindavan, so Nand Maharaj, they said Nand Maharaj palace was in 9 kilometer area. So if palace was in 9 kilometers, so there
Okay.
must be a lot of land for the cows and bulls and everything. So Prabhu will explain more now, but that's what I remember. They were telling us it was in 9 kilometer area. His just palace or area acquired where he was living. So there must be um, uh, so many people living in that place also, servants and women and children, and like a village inside the palace, maybe like that. Hare Krishna, Prabhu, you can explain it now.
Um, so here it is just understanding only, Mataji. So in Bhaktivedanta Manar we have got Goshala. So, but here for everything they have got a sheds and kind of storage places and everything like that. So if we see the villages, for example, in my fathers and grandfathers, when they have got cows and all, they used to take to the forest and then they stay there for many days in the forest itself. So, or they leave the cows there itself. They keep grazing the cows in the forest for maybe three couple of months or so, and then they'll come back on particular time when the many cows are breeding and they're giving milk like that. So they used to live in the forest itself and then bring on particular time. Not only the cows, but even the goats also. They will be guarding all these goats and cows. So these villages are very expanded villages, more of place, and communities are living together. Living together means, like Mataji mentioning, the palace is of 7 kilometers or like 9 kilometers, something like that.
9 kilometer area.
Yeah, even if we think like that, it can accommodate more than 900,000, even a million cows.
Mm.
And for the cows, they don't need organized place. They can sleep just like that. Wherever they go, they lie down. Hare Krishna. So this is what my understanding is. I don't have any uh, how they were, but we understand from the Srimad Bhagavatam that Krishna's cows, they are in a different colors. Each color is named separately, and whenever Krishna calls it particular music, they will come together to Krishna. That is what we understand. But those technical details, I have not gone further into it.
Mm.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Okay.
And they have lots of servants also, no? They were looking after these cows.
Yes.
So Krishna was not taking care of cows. Krishna was accompanying them, or he loved them. He was like a supervisor. Sorry, Prabhu. No, I mean to say he knew all of the cows because I was listening one lecture. Whenever there was newborn cow or there was a delivery, uh, baby Krishna used to go and name that calf and or female or male calf like that. So Krishna knew all of them personally.
Yes, Mataji. So just if we just go thinking, if there are many cows, even if we will calculate the number of days of Krishna spending in Vrindavana, one day, like that, if there is one cow is giving birth, or couple of cows are giving birth, in if you calculate that one, many cows are there, many cows. Even to calculate those days, all the cows, it may not be so. In a year, 365 days. In a 16 years, those calculations come under maybe a couple of thousands. But this is inconceivable. Many cows, of course. But here, why it is means many cows means we need to understand that that many number means there are thousands of cows are there. In such a way, we can overall understand from the devotional perspective. By going into the mathematical things, it is inconceivable to us. From the devotee's perspective, yes, it is possible for the Lord. When He is existing in the heart of all the living entities, why it is not possible for Him to maintain that many cows like that? This is a kind of analogy for Himself to justify. And then keep going on with chanting of Hare Krishna. That way I understand, but if you have got any other things to share, you can share. Asha Mataji, make you. Want to share anything, Mataji, on this one?
I have a little question, Prabhu. In this Kali Yuga, Krishna always feels sad and is to separate from from his children. But in this Kali Yuga, only few of them go back to God, and the rest of them are suffering. Yeah, Prabhu. So it will feel Krishna more sad, isn't it?
Um, so actually, whatever here in this material world, all are the the kind of
Punishment.
criminal souls, except a few. There are few souls like the devotees and acharyas. They come here to canvas that we need to go back to Krishna's world, Krishna's abode. And in the spiritual world, Krishna has got so many billions and billions of devotees there. And in the comparison to the material world, there are three times more than in this material world. In material world is composed of millions of universes. We are in one of the universe. We are put up into where the Chaturmukha Brahma is ruling. This is the one unit, one Brahmanda. And here the conditioned living entities, if even if we think that there are trillions of souls are conditioned here, but it is a very tiny portion. There are present now. Like the if a government has got a separate prison house and putting the thieves and criminals there, it is a very small number compared to the people living outside. Similarly, this world, people living entities who are conditioned by the material nature, they are very few, tiny. And Krishna is always anxious to bring these souls back to his abode.
And when somebody leaves the body, people write it down like, oh, my dad went to Vaikunthaloka, my mom went to Shivaloka. But nobody actually go there, Prabhu, isn't it? Only hardly one or two. The rest go to the Jamaloka or Pitruloka. Maybe they, for their own satisfaction, they write it like that.
Yes, Mataji. So they will be wandering here and there according to their desires. But whoever wanted to go to the Krishna support, they will always engaging in the devotional service and go to Krishna Loka. It is very few, yes. Manushanam sahasreshu kaschid jatati siddhaye. Yet Ramapi siddhanam kaschid mam vedi tatpataha. Who knows the signs of Krishna, they will go back to Krishna Loka. Other people who worship Lord Shiva, they will go to the Shiva Loka. Or if who wanted to go to heavenly planets, they will go there and stay as long as that deity, presiding deity is staying there. And then once again, this is uh, even Narad Muni also says that तस्यैव हेतोः प्रेतेतो विधो न लभ्यते यद्भ्रमताम् उपर्यदः. This is yadbhramatam uparyadaha, up and down. The living entities, they're always going up and down within the 14 planetary systems. And here also, whenever the demigods going to the Himalaya mountains to meet Lord Shiva, who is always sitting there. And it was describing there people. There is a Alakapuri where this Kuvera with along with his associates are there, and outside that Nanda and Sunanda. These are the rivers are flowing where Sati Devi used to take bath there, which is purified. And people from different planets they come there and take the bath, and they used to have the men and women together. They meet there, and then after their meeting, they used to take bath on that waters in those lakes. That kind of attraction is still there between men and women. Uh, but that kind of propensity is not be seen in the Vaikuntha planets or not within the devotee section of the Lord. But it happens in that area where Kailasa mountain, so that area. So that means we understand people are not yet completely cleansed of these material attachments until they come to lotus feet of Krishna.
Because my Prabhu husband is the devotee of Lord Shiva.
Yes, devotees of Lord Shiva, they are not yet free from the material entanglement.
Yeah, he's without knowing, he is following all four regulative principles, Prabhu. But he hardly prayed to Krishna. But he still open my. In case I get late, he opened my puja room and he does all the incense arati.
So he follows the four regulated principles: no meat eating, no illicit sex, no gambling, no
No
intoxication,
alcohol, nothing, Prabhu.
and then worshipping Lord Shiva with
Yes, Prabhu.
incense, flowers, and like that. Okay, and then
And but he always supports me for my to learn Krishna consciousness. He never stopped me. And first he said to bring the deities to the living room. He said no because Sri Lankan houses we don't do that. And later on he said yes. Then he bought the nice the mandir and everything. So he is happy with that now. But he is not like actually praying to Krishna. That is my worry.
yes, there are some faithful devotees of Lord Shiva. And so once again, one has to know where does Lord Shiva lives. So Lord Shiva, he is in the graveyards, keeping all this in the impurity places, like a graveyard, and keeping all this भस्मावघुण्टामल रुक्मदेहो देवस्त्रिभिः पश्यति देवरस्ते श्मशानचक्रानिलधूलिधूम्र विकीर्ण विद्युत जटाकलापः भस्मावघुण्टामल रुक्मदेहो देवस्त्रिभिः पश्यति देवरस्ते. All bhotas, pisachas, they're all behind Lord Shiva. Of course, he is the Bhagavata, so he controls all of those very low souls who are in that kind of bodies. And when what is the need that one is worshipping Lord Shiva? So, for example, many of the people in the history they worship many of the demons, especially they worship Lord Shiva or Brahma for particular material desires. Many
But
of them.
Sorry, brother. Sorry to interrupt. Sometimes I have little desires, like for my mother's health and something. I ask from Krishna, but he doesn't ask. He doesn't have any desire to ask Lord Shiva. He doesn't never ask. So far, my knowledge, he never asked anything, which is good thing probably.
Yes, that is good. So that means he is nearly again such kind of Bhagavatas are very rare, without any desires, without any material desires. Again, how it can be perceived? Once we observe their day-to-day life, what are their activities, what is their intention of doing that kind of thing, a devotee can see, easily identify where is the interest in it, what is the interest of worshipping Lord Shiva. But anyway, I'd say that is a different thing. But here, the devotees of Lord Shiva also they would stay until this destruction of this universe, and Lord Shiva takes charge of them.
Okay.
But they are always having some kind of desire somewhere or other, some material desires as well. But whereas the devotees of the Lord Krishna and Vishnu, they're always in the Vaikuntha without any disturbance. There Krishnatmanam Daja Aduhu Usmayadhyaihi. Even the beautiful women are there, they are not attracted to the women, always glorifying Krishna Katha. Krishna Katha, it will subside all kinds of material miseries, tapatrayas. This is the glories of the devotees. There are what is the main asset? Hearing Krishna Katha, speaking Krishna Katha, devotees association, and the association of the Lord, deity worship. These are all the assets of the devotees. Chanting the names of the Lord. Hare Krishna Mahamantra, like that. They're
Thank you.
not disturbed. But disturbance comes through the men and attachment attraction only. If one has conquered that kind of desires, and he may immediately he will be attracted to Krishna, of course. But again, um, wherever their interest and devotion is there, everyone has got particular desires why there is. But we are Krishna is the Ishwarah Paramah Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govindah Sarvakarana Karanam. In that mode we worship Krishna. He is always dancing with the gopis and Radharani, and in a way enjoyable mode. He is not doing any duties like Srishti Siddhi Pralaya Sadhana. This is not his duties. He is enjoying Ananda Chinmaya Pratibhavitabihi ताभिरेव निजरूपकलातयाभिः गोलोक एव निवसति अखिलात्मभूतो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि श्यामं त्रिभङ्गललितं नीतप्रकाशं. So this is Krishna. He is always enjoying. If you see all other, everyone is holding some kind of weapons in their hands. For what purpose? But Krishna is having like Radharani and gopis and having flute and enjoying. This is the supreme personality of God. He doesn't have nothing to do. Name karmani limpanti, name karma pale spruha. I don't have anything to do here with this material world at all, either in the maintenance or anything else, creation, maintenance, and destruction. So that is Krishna, Ananda Chinmaya Vigraha.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, yeah, very nice. A point you mentioned that Krishna doesn't hold any shastra or astra, anything. One more thing, Prabhu, in other planets, as you said, in Vaikuntha planet, everyone is engaged in Krishna Katha and glorifying Lord. How about other super hi-fi planets, their devtas and all other lives? And do they not glorify Krishna or Vishnu? If not, then how they are allowed to live in live in those planets and do their bhogas? What karma they have done?
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So that one we also in the fifth canto, it describes about the Bhumandala. Bhumandala is divided into 8 islands and 8 oceans. When it was only one complete land. So, but Priyavrata Maharaj, he made 7 ditches, which became the those ditches became shelter for 7 oceans, like saltwater ocean, and and then yogurt and milk, and then sugarcane, wine, like that. There are 7 oceans. So here in that one, it is the description goes. The middle one is the Jambu Dvipa. In the Jambu Dvipa itself, again it is Jambu Dvipa is divided into 9 varshas. Ilavrita Varsha, Ketumala Varsha, Bharata Varsha. Likewise, there are 9 varshas. Within these varshas itself, there are people in different parts of this area. They worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead in different ways. For example, in the Bharata Varsha, um, they they worship the Lord in one particular form, and in the Kim Purusha Varsha they worship like Ramachandra, and in the what Ilavata Varsha, so which is the center of these 9 Varshas, where Lord Shiva and Kailasa mountain is there. There Lord Shiva worship the Supreme Lord in the form of Ananta, and similarly. Um, other Varsha, Ketumala Varsha, Bhadrasha Varsha, like that. Those Varshas also, they worship the Lord with different names and forms. This is just only Jambu Dvipa. If we go to the next outer circles, so here, um, this is the Vaikuntha. So here, this is middle one is the called Jambu Dvipa, and then next is the Plakshva Dvipa. Okay, let me just highlight this one. Enlarge this one. So again here, Plakshadvipa, Salmadvipa, Kushadvipa, and then Kraunchadvipa, Sakadvipa, and Pushkaradvipa. So there are also people, they worship the Lord in a different way, with different names and forms. And version of salt water, sugar cane juice, liquor, and ghee is there, milk, yogurt, and water. Tasteful water. There is a sweet water also, sweet water, the ocean, which is the outer circle of this. And milk ocean comes as the middle. This is another milk ocean. And then this is the middle one is the Jumbo Dvipa. Again, here if we see, it is again, I need to go further. So here, if I see here, this is the where Sumeru mountain is there. It is the Ilavrita Varsha, and it is Hari Varsha and Kimpurusha Varsha, and then Bharata Varsha. This is Ketumala Varsha, Bhadrasha Varsha. This is Hiranya Varsha, I think, Kuru Varsha, and also Ramanaka Varsha.
Starting with Ram, yeah.
So these are the different Varshas. There they worship the Lord in different ways. If you see the form here, so the black lines, it is the dividing the land. Everyone are worshipping the Supreme Lord only, but with the different names and forms. And each Varsha is also described that there is a big banyan trees are there like that, and the rivers are flowing, and the names of the rivers and what kind of flowers and plants they exist. It is also described in the 5th canto. Just going to that particular one. I'm not going in detail. Show that where these descriptions exist in the 5th canto, the creative impetus, the 25th of chapter is chapter 15. Okay, 20 movements of the sun, and 22 small planetary systems, subterranean planets, the glories of Lord, and description of the hellish planets. 5th canto, 22. Okay, yeah, a description of the island of Jambudvipa. And so the prayers offered to the Lord by the residents of Jambudvipa. And here these are the different descriptions. material world as the great forest of enjoyment, glories of descendants of King Priyavrata, description of Jambudvipa, and descendant of river Ganges, and prayers offered to the Lord by the residents of Jambudvipa. So this description of Jambudvipa goes here, how much big it is. There is a Meru Mandara, and many of those descriptions are given here. It is a vast subject. We need to go all the technical details.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Prabhu.
So there, the people living in the Jambudvipa praise offered to the Lord. So here, if we see, the predominating ruler of Bhadra Varsha is Bhadrashrava. He and his many servants always worship the incarnation known as Lord Hayagriva. So we know this one.
Mm.
And then this Lord by Lord Hayagriva appears and he preserves these things. Also, it is mentioned. And then Harivarsha, exalted devotee Prahlada is there in the Harivarsha, who worships Lord Narsimhadeva. That we know. And then following, this is again that is Harivarsha. And then further Ketumala Varsha, in tract of the known as Ketumala, the supreme personality of Godhead Krushikesha appears in the form of Cupid. This is the Ketumala Varsha. And then further, what is there?
Ramakya Varsha.
Yeah, Ramyaka Varsha. Yes, Ramyaka Varsha. So in the tract land known as Ramyaka Varsha, Manu and all inhabit worship the Mashya Deva, Mashya Avataram, to this very day. So Mashya Deva is there. And then further, Hiranmaya Varsha, Lord Vishnu has assumed the form of a tortoise. They worship this avatara. And here in our Bharata Varsha, we worship Ramachandra and Krishna, especially as the majority. Though we worship all these incarnations, we mainly Rama and so here it is mentioned Bharata Varsha. Where is the Bharata Varsha? Not there. Okay. So Bharata Varsha also appears here somewhere. How they worship the Supreme Lord. Bhadrashwadham.
Bharat Varsha. Text 1. Bharat Varsha, Lord Shiva worships Sankarshana and Ilavrat.
That is in Ilavrata Varsha, in the middle one.
Okay.
And then Bhadrashwa
Bhadra Varsha.
So just looking for what is
Yeah.
Rama's name. Not, I don't see that Rama there. Bharata Varsha. I don't see that one Bharata Varsha here.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so and also in the Kim Purusha Varsha, Kim Purusha Varsha. Okay, I think it is also not. I don't see it. Maybe we need to go through line by line. Find.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah.
So likewise, everyone worship the Supreme Lord only. For example, if we see the in this world, in the Western world, they worship Jesus Christ or Jehovah with a different names. Many people names are someone people Allah, some people Guru Govind. This is and also Jain people they worship Rishabhadev. Rishabhadev is the incarnation of Krishna, the son of Nabi and Meru Devi, Rishabhadev. They worship like that. So everyone are worshipping the same supreme personality of Godhead, but in eight different names and forms. See, everyone should accept this proposal and worship the Lord, as stated in Bhagavad Gita. Vedasya sarve ahameva vedyaha. So wherever we go, we only worship the Supreme Lord only. But we have got beautiful descriptions glorifying Krishna and Rama and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That Srimad Bhagavatam is giving all such kind of glories to us. We are very fortunate to take Srimad Bhagavatam.
Yeah. And in Srimad Bhagavatam, is there description of Mahaprabhu?
Yes, Mataji. So, but there it is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Karabhajana. He also gave some Yada Pasyaha. Sorry, what is that one? So, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he has given some of the statements in the Chaitanya Charit. Jayam Sada Paribhavagnam Abhishtadoham Tidaspadam Siva Virinchi Nutam Seranyam Vrityartiham Pranatapala Bhavabdipotam Vande Mahapurushate Charanaravindam. So this is spoken by Karabhajana Rishi to the, I think, Prachina Bhya, some other king. And then Tyaktva Suduschita Surepishita Rajyalakshmim Dharmishtarya Vachsa Yadagadharanyam Maya Mrugam Daitayepsita Manvadavad Vande Mahapurushate Charanaravindam. So these are giving some indications in the Srimad Bhagavatam. That is in the 11th canto. And also, Prahlad Maharaj also mentions that the Lord appears in the Channa Kalu Yadabhavas Triyogo Sattvam Yittam Rutirya Grushideva Jushavatāraihi Lokan Vibhavasi Hams Jagat Pratipam Dharmam Mahapurusha Yuganuruttam Channa Kalu Yadabhavas Triyoga Sattvam. The Lord who appears in the three yugas, he is also appearing in the Channa Kalau, Channa Avatara. So that is the Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is Prahlada's prayers.
Okay.
And also there are the statements in the by Lord Shiva. So Yeva Bhagavan Krishna Radhika Pranavallabha Srushchadav Sajagannatha Gaurasin Maheshwari. So Chaitanya Krishna come as a Gauranga and he will be in the Jagannath. Jagannatho Gaura Asin Maheshwari, just like a Gauranga. Gaura Asin Maheshwari. And also there is mentioned like Gauraha Sarvatma Mahapurusho Mahatma Mahayogi Trigunatitaha Sattvarupo Bhaktim Loke Kasyati. And from the Mundakopanishad, Yada Pasyah Pasyate Rukmavarnam Kartaramisham Purusham Brahma Yonim. When the Lord appears in his golden form, that is Yada Pasyah Pasyate Rukmavarnam Kartaramisham Purusham Brahma Yonim. So he will be relieved from the material world, material clutches. Yada Pasyate Rukmavarnam Kartaramisham Purusham Brahma Yonim. That also mentioned in the Mundakopanishad. Just only one has to see the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the golden form. These are different indications from like Kalo Sankirtanarambhe Bhavishami Sechisutaha Punyakshetre Navadvipe Bhavishami Sechisutaha Atavaham Dharadami Bhutva Madbhaktarupadru Mayayam Cha Bhavishami Kalo Sankirtanagami. And also he speaks to Vyasadeva like Aham Eva Kochit Brahman Sanyashashramam Asitaha Haribhaktim Grahayami Kalu Papahatan Naran. So these are and also in the Vishnu Sahasranama Suvarnavarna Hemango Varanga Chandanangadi Sanyasukrucha Mahasanto Nishta Santihi Parayanaham. And Bhagavatam Krishna Varnam Tusha Krishnam Sangopangastra Pashtam Yajnihi Sankirtan Prayihi Yajantihi Sumedasaha. These are all describing about the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from Bhagavatam and different Puranas, Upanishads, like that.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. So that's why we may not see directly, it is Yuga avatars. There are different avatars. One is the Purushavataras, Leela-avataras, Guna-avataras, and then Manvantara avataras, Sekta-vesh avataras, and then Yuga avataras. In the Yuga avatara, the Lord appears with a particular colors. And sometimes these avatars, they are also appearing in the Yuga avatara and also Leela avatara. For example, Krishna is the Shama color. He is also Leela avatara, Supreme Personality of Godhead, and also Yuga avatara also. And but whenever it comes to the colors, whenever it is golden color, it applies to the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That is the Yuga avatar. That does not fall into the other avatars. It is the Yuga avatara. That is where we take. And he appears like a Pitavasa and likewise Pita color, Raktavarnam, Pitavarnam, like that. It is the Yuga avatar. Kalikale Namarupi. And also the Lord appears as in the Mahamantra. Kalikale Namarupe Krishna Avatara. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Yuga Avatara, Kali Yuga Avatara. Of course, Kali Yuga Avatara means there is a Kalki, that is again it comes as the Leela Avatara, that is Leela Avatara. It comes at the end of the Kali Yuga, at least 2000 years, the overlapping period, Yuga Sandhya period. At the time he appears and he will kill all these miscreants. Okay, so that is about the Lord and his pastimes, different things. This is Harikatha Krishna Katha. Okay, so we are already 22 minutes past 9 o'clock, and dear devotees, if you have got anything to say, or we can ask, or you wanted to share anything, otherwise we shall conclude our session. When we are sitting together, devotees, and speaking on Krishna, it will keep going on. We never ever to leave.
Yeah, yes, Prabhu. And there is so much to. So that's what you are saying. In Vaikuntha, they are always engaged and glorifying Lord. So same like here. If we are together, so many questions, so many things we are curious to know about Lord, Vaikuntha, his pastimes, everything we want to listen. And
Yes,
we are so
Mataji.
fortunate you are the one who is telling us. We are really, really fortunate, Prabhu. No one could explain all those things.
I am fortunate, Mataji. You all serious and devoted devotees are here, and so that is how the fortunate thing comes when the serious devotees are there.
We're not serious, but we are just trying to, discipline ourselves, Prabhu, not still serious.
We are trying, Mataji. So
But you are our role model, Prabhu, so we are following you, trying to follow you. We appreciate you, Prabhu. It gives us energy and inspiration, your dedication.
it all comes from Guru Parampara and from the Gurus and Prabhupada and Krishna. We are just being an instrument.
Yeah.
But here in the Vaikuntha Lokas, they don't feel hunger and thirst, and they don't have to take bath. They don't have to buy shoppings, going to the different shops and boxing days like that. But here we are conditioned.
Mm.
We are hunger. We are always stricken by hunger and thirst, and we need to pay the bills and conditioned by work to work. So all of our time still somewhere or other find the way to come to hear Krishna Katha Bhagavatam, so that be eligible to enter into Vaikuntha Loka.
Yeah. Even if you if we actually keep listening and more and more, that desire also is going down now, going to Vaikuntha is finishing. So it's like whatever Krishna desires, not our desire.
Yes, Mataji. Yes, I feel hearing Krishna Katha is more, and we don't get this is Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Salokya, Sarupya, Saristi, Samipya, Ekatma, Apyuta, Demanam, Nagruhnanti Vina, Matsevanam, Janaha. So devotees are always engaged in the devotionals. They don't even desire to go to the uh, Vaikuntha Loka. So they are sticking to the Harikatha, Meva Gayamani. Even the bees are also singing Harikatha.
Yeah.
That is Satam Prasangan Mama Veer Samvizo Bhavanti Hrutkarna Rasayana Kataha Tadjoshanadvaso Apavargavatmani Shraddha Ratihi Bhakti Anukramishyati. So this is the Rati attachment to Krishna Katha. Such a way one will always be purified himself. And always this is Machitta Madhyata Prana Bodhayanta Parasparam Katayantasya Mam Nityam Tushyanti Cha Ramanti Cha. That is the practical, we are experiencing that one. Parasparam Twadgunavadasidhu Piyushi Niryapita Deha Dharmaha. Piyushi Niryapita Deha Dharmaha. The bodily things does not act because they are drinking the Krishna Katha. Parasparam Twadgunavadasidhu. When discussing, I need to go there and take bath and do so many things, go to the shop. This kind of tendencies, bodily things would not influence Krishna Katha and whoever is hearing. Piyushi Niryapita Deha Dharma, and pains coming from fever, that pain, this pain, but still engaging in Krishna Katha and relishing. It will make us to stick. Center point is Krishna and his devotional service, the process. Okay. Thank you so much, Mataji. If you are happy, then we shall conclude our session and continue with further japa. Okay. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripasubhya eva cha patitanam
Patitanam Bhavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo
Vaishnavebhyo
Namah.
namo namah. Ananta Koti
Koti Vaishnavinda ki jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna, conscious day
Hare
everyone.
Krishna.